Hello there, my bitches, bros, and non-binary hoes. How are you all doing today? I hope you are doing wonderful. Anyway, so we're going to be covering Mage the Ascension today, and we're going to be at it for a while. Riv's going to be talking a lot, so we made sure that he got some water. I could already feel my brain cells melting, but I do thank everyone who is here today so far.
Don't worry,
But,
Chad. You're fine. You'll be fine.
bro, we're talking about reality-altering entities and reality not really being reality.
It's fine. It's fine.
Fu-
You'll be fine. You'll get it. Holy shit, that is the worst timed ad break I think I've ever
There's
fucking
no
seen.
fucking way.
Yeah, it ad breaks right fucking now, dude. That's
That's
actual.
terrible. I mean, it's literally the six. It's supposed to happen every 30 minutes. Why the
It's
fuck
a
did it start the
fucking
7 minute mark?
Levi's ad. They're in a. It's some lady in a jet. That's a jean hat, by the way.
Why is that a thing?
Why wouldn't it be a thing? It's like how there's jorts and jocks and
Okay,
gender
but like
wear and
jorts, like somewhat makes sense because jeans are already long pants. If you make it small, that
yeah.
is just jorts. Why would anyone want a hat made of denim?
Why would you? Why wouldn't you want genderwear? Underwear made of denim.
I want to selectively ignore your existence currently, but we have to do a podcast together. Wow, this is terrible.
What about a button-up shirt?
How do I open mod? Motherfucker, how do you not know how to open up the mod panel? There's a big ass sword in your underneath your search bar.
He can't hear you right now. We're still on an ad break. It's the Spark Never Change Air Purifier Max, brought to you by Twitch.tv. Not us though. We don't know what that is.
My god.
Okay.
Anyway, as was
Okay.
trying
All
to
right.
be
All right.
already off
In
to a
in,
great start.
in order to like get this thing moving on,
Yeah, let me
man, a
go to the
Culver's ad too. This is fucking awfully long. Jesus Christ. We're talking about Mage the Ascension. Pull up the slide.
Yeah, here we are. Mage time. Magic. Magic. It's Magic the Gathering, everybody! Woo!
No, it is not Magic the Gathering.
Oh
Let's
god,
get the fuck
anything
out of
but
here.
that.
Oh
And no,
god.
mods
Oh
still get
god, it's a
ads.
fake PNG. Oh no.
No, mods still get ads. But I was like, yeah, it's PNG. They're adding. They made Warhammer 40k Magic the Gathering cards. I did not know that.
Oh yeah, no, that was a whole like thing a while ago.
I
I have
had
the
no
tournament
idea.
set.
Apparently, they made a Yeah, I saw the Manius Calgar one because a friend had it at work,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like, oh,
they had an Imperium one, a Chaos one, a Necron
oh,
one, and a Nid one. Really nice.
that's nice.
And they also had an Orc one, but you know.
Use the PNG with transparency, dear lord. Um, you want to know the magic part? That is the transparent one, motherfucker. There's nothing behind this.
What the fuck do you mean?
That's just the actual slide.
I gave you a bunch of transparent PNGs, you fuck.
Yeah, they are transparent. It's all white. Then round the edges. No.
All right,
No.
I'm gonna leave it.
And I was about to say, anyway.
Oh, Echo, don't shame him. Don't shame him. We know what you do in your downtime. Anyway,
Bro.
Mage the Ascension. Mage the Ascension was a game made by, originally published by White Wolf Publishing in a time and a place. Point is that basically everything we're going to be talking about today is probably, possibly, could be retconned in the near future due to the
Next
fact
couple
that
months.
none of this is in the latest edition of the game.
Also, it was 93.
I mean, that's probably the latest edition of it, but like it's
No, 93 was the oldest one.
okay, whatever. Who cares? Anyway, point.
2015 was the newest with the
Well,
anniversary
that
edition.
20. Okay, anniversary edition. Yeah, that's actually, I might have the anniversary edition. Who cares? Anyways,
Continuing.
Mage Ascension. It's in the World of Darkness setting and system, much like all the other games we've talked about and are going to be talking about with this. Um, I need some water.
Damn. All right. Damn. Dry throat.
It's hot in my room. All right, this is
Fair.
kinda,
It's been
kinda,
hot. Like it got cold for like the past like 2 or 3 days, and it got really fucking hot today.
I know, right? Um, we're going to be talking about the 9 mystic traditions.
Woo!
Yay!
I know
This
nothing
is
about
this
this shit, so
the 9 mystic traditions, and of course some extra associated traditions
the
are
technocracy.
crafts. They're called, the other ones are called crafts. I'll make sure to mention them. I'll get some like keys or something
Yeah.
and jingle them and let you know they're different. Um, but these are the guys who you traditionally play as in a mage game. Now there is the technocracy, who I have been advised we are not covering today for
We're mentioning
reasons.
them, but if we talk about the technocracy in length, like we're going to be talking about the nine mystic traditions, we're going to be here all day. And the stream length will be doubled to like 8 hours. And I'm going to be
You say that,
honest,
but there are significantly less conventions in technocracy than there are mystic traditions.
okay, 6 hours. Point standing. Yike. That's a lot to cover in one stream, or we're just trying to do a bit of a general synopsis. So we'll do technocracy next time, and then we'll do my Wraith episode. Which, by the way, if you guys didn't see my announcement on Twitter, and I do need to make one on Blue Sky as well, which I'm on there now. Hi, go follow me on there. Um, we are gonna be covering the World Darkness into the next couple months as well, but we're just gonna be like spreading out the episodes a little bit. So this will be like the last actual episode for probably October, and then we'll be covering the next thing like next month, and then like we'll be doing 2 episodes a month basically, or at least trying to in my mind. If we can do more, we can do more. If less, then dads, whatever.
Now, some vocab I do want to cover beforehand, just so we get some, you know, like that out of the way. We don't really have a slide for this, but honestly, as long
Oh
as you
boy.
guys, long and short of it, sleepers are normal mortals. You and me and Chad and chat. Hi, chat.
Hi. Chat's going crazy.
Yeah, yeah, normal mortals.
So these are people like so. If I can give like I don't know a guessing example, so like a sleeper could could a sleeper use magic? That's a
Sort
question.
of. There is a something called hedge magic. I don't have a whole lot about it, but like the Arcanum, if you know from famous internet show Hunter the Parenting, the
Yes,
Arcanum, the Arcanum has access to what's known as hedge magic. It's not what would be considered real magic. They're
like
working off
solar
of
sorcery,
what the
like
fuck is
Occam
solar?
solar. Like what Occam does.
What?
Occam, the hit character from Hunter the Parenting, the TV show,
Oh, yeah, yeah, more or less.
the guy who does solar
He's
sorcery.
he's not doing the same things as a mage would do, but he is affecting reality based on certain practices that are known, right?
Okay.
Like he's not changing anything fundamental about the universe. He's just acting on things that are already set within the universe, if you catch my drift.
Right. We'll get into that more, I'm
And
guessing.
then we have the Awakened, also known as the Enlightened by the Technocracy. We're not counting them yet. The Awakened are mages. They have something called an awakened avatar. Now, all humans have an avatar. It's basically like a second part to your soul. We're gonna ignore that. That's gonna take a while to explain. Um,
Okay, so it's not the blue people, well noted.
Chad, I'm going to hurt you.
Okay, to be fair, at least I didn't make the last Airbender joke.
That would have been more acceptable because that deals with magic powers, not just blue cat aliens.
Fair, yeah. Gotta master all four of the elements and stuff.
Yeah.
Even though I consider metal bending its own thing, but whatever.
Well, metal bending is just part. I feel like that's off topic too much.
That is very off topic. Continuing.
Um, what was right? Nine Mystic
Sleepers and
Traditions
Awakened.
Awakened. The Awakened are mages, right? Something called an avatar. It's basically your soul, for better or worse terms. Like it's just the best way to think about it. Your soul is no longer asleep, it is awake, and you have access to the funny little enhanced powers that gives you, which is the ability to shape reality to your will to a degree.
Huh?
Now there are some things I'd like to talk about, like Horizon and Central Control, but Central Control we're going to need to talk about during the technocracy episode. And Horizon is something we can talk about a little later if we get around to it. When we talk about Horizon, I'm also going to be talking about the Avatar Storm and why Mage Society in what would be the modern setting is not as unified as it used to be.
Okay.
Like how, in a similar way, technocracy is also scrambling to bring itself together. But that's neither here or there. Next slide, please, because we're talking about the Order of Hermes.
Yes. The people that, by the way, me and Riv do talk in the background, go figure. This
Good
man has
lord,
mentioned
that's
the or
right.
yeah. This man has mentioned the Order of Hermes at least a couple hundred times at this point.
That's because they're like one of the biggest movers and shakers and saying so
Yeah.
the Order of Hermes is a they're interesting. The Order of Hermes is, and keep in mind, everything right now I'm saying is definitely going to get retconned due to in real life legal reasons. But the
Mhm.
Order of Hermes is a holdover from White Wolf's or one the first setting White Wolf published, Ars Magica. Ars Magica has its own interesting history through
Yeah.
in real life because it wasn't a White Wolf bespoke product. They bought it when they got a couple of friends in on their publishing into the White Wolf publishing house. I'm sorry, my nose.
You're all good.
They were originally a part of a different producing company, which I forget the name of and I didn't write
It was
down.
a whole thing.
But they their business was going under, and White Wolf, the owners of White Wolf, had willingly purchased the rights to Ars Magica and had its creators come work with them and put it out on a larger scale. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
I was about to say the only Ars Magica I know is the old Minecraft mod from like 1.7, but we're gonna
There's an
scooch
Ars
past it.
Magica mod for Minecraft.
Oh yeah, no, it's a huge thing. It's called something else now because they updated it, but it used to be called Ars Magica. I think
Oh,
it's
that
I know Echo has played it before. He could probably talk about it, but Ars Magica was like the 1.7 version. Anyways, moving on. Order of Hermes. What do they do?
um to talk about their kind of magic, it's best to go to their roots. Um, the
Shit,
Order
can
of
I take a
Hermes.
guess?
You go ahead.
So just by their symbol alone, we got what I'm assuming is a snake with a very nice eye. We got a circle, a couple squares. And we already did talk that they're technically Ars Novia. Yeah, that's it. They are also, if I remember correctly, the guys that Tremere came from, if I'm not mistaken.
We're getting to that.
Uh, I kind of feel like they've got some sort of maybe I don't know Middle Eastern African roots, maybe. Or am
You're
I off?
kind of you're actually very close.
Oh,
By that I mean dead on by technicality. They trace their initial roots, roughly back 5,000 years to ancient Egypt and Sumer,
okay.
Nouveau. But
I was
realistically,
in
that's
Louisville.
not where their actual foundation is from. They trace their specific heritage back to the reed bearer. I'm sorry, the Reed of Jehudi, which was a half of a summit of practitioners of magic during 5,000 years ago in ancient Egypt. What happened
Okay.
was is the pharaoh of the time said Egypt is the greatest nation in all of the world. We should have a grand convocation of mages come here and, spread their practices and, everyone learn each other's, how they do magic.
Commit
So
the magic.
they and they were organized into two different groups: the Reed
Hmm.
of Jehudi, which were artificers, artisans, alchemists, full like practitioners of magic like that.
Like
Where
the
and then there were
physical.
yeah, sort of, and
Okay.
then there were the cupbearers of Set, and the cupbearers of Set were priests and shamans and magic of the word as opposed to magic of the physical.
So, when you mean the cup bearers of Set, are we talking the antediluvian in some form or fashion?
We are referring to the antediluvian by name, yes.
Okay. So I'm
Set
assuming he's
Set
gonna have some form of hand in this, I feel.
Fuck no. Uh,
Really? Okay.
no. Because
Or at
Set
least his
is an
followers?
Egyptian. No, Set is considered an Egyptian god.
Mhm.
Because of this, and because there was legitimate worship of him in ancient Egypt, him being an antediluvian has no bearing on the fact that the cupbearers of Set were a thing here. It's just that his name was used here.
Okay, I didn't know if they're like his
Later,
followers or his
what
child or were like involved.
What no, when we talk about the Ali button, we will mention Set one more time because he is one of the many people attributed to having unleashed 10,000 demons in Arabia. But that's not the point.
What? Okay, you know what? We'll get there. We'll get there.
Don't worry, we'll talk about the 10,000 Jinn plague later. Anyways, so
Uh,
um where was I?
yeah.
Cupbearers of Set. What happened was is this grand convocation of mages did not last very long for two reasons. One,
Mm.
um the mages were already divided into the Reed Bearers of Jehudi and the Cupbearers of Set, who were not exactly didn't exactly mesh very well with each other because of how reasonably different their practices of magic were.
Okay, so like the idea of physical versus the metaphysical, I guess, is the
More or
best
less,
way of saying.
more or less.
Okay.
I mean, both sides recognize they're using magic. It's just how they go about it.
You know, it's like
Yeah,
how you perform different parts of stuff in like I don't know, sports or
and
writing
it
and such.
was the fact that the Egyptian mages deeply looked down on all of the mages from across the world, or
Oh,
most of the world, because Egypt was the greatest nation of the world at the time, and everyone
classic
else was
elitism.
lesser. Yeah. This convocation eventually broke down, and everyone went back their separate ways, including the ones that came from China. Um,
Oh, so they
there
traveled
it's
far.
Yeah, but they're mages, so it really depends on what your definition of far is.
Yeah, fair enough. They could blink and probably teleport. I guess I don't know.
Now, the actual origin of the Order of Hermes is by shit. Did I write down the date or am I stupid? I did not write down the date. There it is. 770 months
770.
right now. 776 in Germany. Now, the big thing is this is 7076. Most of the world at this point,
Ascensions.
most of the Roman Empire is still pretty big. Um, I think I'm getting that right.
I think they were still. I think they
I
were
don't.
in decline at that time, but
They
I
were
think they were
probably.
still around.
Hold on.
Because I don't think the Roman
I
Empire fell until like in the 800s, to my knowledge. Or at least if I'm remembering that right, I might be mistaken.
I think I'm mistaken. Let me look it up.
You're fine. I was gonna say I do like the design for the Order Hermes symbol though. Very nice.
Yeah. Either way, I'm gonna skip that. The point is
Yeah,
that
it's
they
fine.
were brought together by the want to maintain specific magical traditions that were in decline due to the Roman Republican Empire having come to such prominence in the past. These were, of course, old Hermetic traditions of Greece, old Mercurial traditions of the old Roman religion, and Thothian magic of ancient Egyptian priests.
I'm noticing a lot of gods of like, you know, magic or speed or information.
Yes, correct. They were also partially brought together by druids of the region as well as some Jewish cabals, but they weren't nearly as major of a force.
I say, wait,
The
you're telling me the Jews made a secret society?
No, they already had cabals. They just were willing to take part in this one.
Okay.
Now, this was originally brought together by 12 founding houses, the original houses of the Order of Hermes. 10 of them were made by actual masters of magic, and two of them were made by by coattail riding apprentices who made it
Ah.
in on their master's good name. That being said, only one of them, House Diende, was actually considered a would actually have been considered a full house at the time because it had more than one real member.
Oh. Okay.
These houses, though, were originally House Bjornair, House Bonisages, House Cremeon, House Diende, House Flambeau, House Gerbitten, House Mercier,
Sure.
House Murinate, House Questori, House Tremere,
Hey, wait a minute.
House
I know that one.
House Tremere, and House Titulus, who were both happened to be the apprentices who snuck in, and
Yeah.
House Vertidis,
For titties?
Vertidis. Veritas.
Virtus.
Very soon after the Order of Hermes' founding, was founded House X Miscellanea. House X Miscellanea is not actually a house in its own right, but rather a group consolidation and nomenclature for any grouping and practice of mage that joined the House of Hermes, or the Order of Hermes, that isn't actually a that doesn't actually warrant house status.
So it's
That
kind of
being
like a
said,
non-affiliated question mark.
no, it's like being it's like having a oh, have you ever been to Costco?
Yes.
It's like though the those 12 houses all have like the $120 a year pass, where all House Miscellanea get is a $60.
Oh, okay. So I got the premium shit. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. The
So
difference
House
is
Dust from
that,
D2. I mean, I
I mean,
guess.
kinda. But the thing is House X Miscellanea has a lot less stringent like watching on how their magic is practiced. So you get outlier cases, like instead of following like traditional hermetic practices, you have alchemists, artificers, artisans, financiers,
It's basically
everybody.
everybody else.
It's everybody who doesn't fit the mold. um that being said, I didn't do a whole lot about this, but House Bonisages is very important because Bonisages, a wizard who got everyone together,
Okay.
developed something called the Parma Magica. The Parma Magica, for as little words as physically possible, is a shield. It's used so mages can protect themselves from other mages.
Oh, so
It was in
it's God. So it's basically like so another mage tries to shoot another mage with another spell. Nah, fuck you.
it sort of it's
Okay.
it allows mages to meet each other without fearing that all of the others will attack them.
Okay.
Boni Sagas shared this magic, shared this spell with all of the mages he invited, which allowed them to form the Pax Hermetica. The Pax Hermetica is the agreement of the founding of the Order of Hermes in Durenmar, in what will later be Germany.
Okay.
Now, I'm gonna get, now to list off just three things. To let you know some fun things that have happened to just three of these houses and times. House Jerbiton was lost so many members that in the late 1400s it was adopted into House X Miscellanea, no longer being considered a full house status. Um, House Tremere, as you know from our vampire episode, stole vampirism from the Zamisi, and
We're not liked for it at all by anybody.
we're not liked for it. But we're gonna get to them. We're gonna finish that story in a second. Because House Diende in 1003 was accused by House Tremere of diabolism, which is unlike diablerie in vampire. Diabolism or infernalism is the use of demons by making pacts with them or using them in magical spells.
I'll say we know that from the Bali, at least a
Yeah.
little bit. I'll say
Um.
infernalism is a big no-no to my knowledge in everybody's house.
Yeah. Well. The Order of Hermes has a bit of a problem where when mages are desperate, because of the normalcy of privacy and personal study within a lot of magic, they have a tendency to resort to duels and infernalism to win duels
What?
purely to spite people. Um,
That's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie.
they then tend to get killed because the power doesn't matter. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
House D&D was officially destroyed in 1012 during a schism war with House Tremere, House Titleist, and House Questori due to Tremere's accusation of diabolism. It
Were they
is
ever, proven guilty?
no.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
They
Thanks,
it
Tremere.
it is believed, however, that the upper echelon of House Dande escaped. Though to where it's unknown, it's believed that they went to the land of the Fae, but no one's quite sure as they never showed up again. They're just gone.
Okay, yeah, if they went to the role of the dreaming, yeah, no, they're fucked.
That being said, Tremere was outed for their vampirism quite not too long after Diende was discovered.
Not
it wasn't
surprising.
just it wasn't just that he was planning on turning his entire house into vampires, which he was planning on spreading vampirism throughout the entire order.
Oh, so he wanted to just turn the entirety of Hermes.
Yes. In that
Oh,
moment, the Order of Hermes, who at that point was doing their own thing, chose to order Wizard's March. For a more layman's terms, they ordered a full-on assault and destruction of the House of Hermes.
so
This led
Wizard
to
War.
what this led no yeah, a Wizard War. This led to what was known as the Great Masasa War, and led to a lot of casualties on both sides.
Okay.
During the Masasa War is when things really went bad for the wizarding world. No,
Motherfucker. I was gonna do Wizard of Waverly Place, but yeah, that works too.
um, House X Miscellanea during this time lost one of its members. During the early stages of the Masasa War, lost one of its members. A
Okay.
little group that went unnoticed in its leaving of the Order of Hermes, known as the Craft Masons.
These are the Freemasons, aren't they?
No, no, they're their own thing.
Oh.
Technically, the Sons of Ether are the Freemasons, I guess, but they don't really matter in this. The Freemasons are just sort of a thing.
Oh, okay.
The craft masons, being men of science and reason, I say, believe that the gifts of magic should not be used by an believe that that magic should not be used by an elite few. It should not be kept in high places such as Misthaven or the White Tower of Languedoc or Durinmar, but rather it should be spread among the people. That the common man should be able to wield such great device as even the mightiest of wizards.
So they pulled an Andrew Ryan.
I don't remember who Andrew Ryan is.
Bioshock, he's like, no god, no
Oh,
kings,
right,
only
yeah,
men.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
During the Great Masasa War, several crusades went off, several and whatnot, and the Order of Reason was founded. Well, not yet, but the Craft
Soon.
Masons joined with a group of financiers known as the High Guild, and first assaulted Mistridge, a known haven of the Order of Hermes.
Mm-hmm.
they were they used cannons to assault it, and it was all but and its defenses were all but impenetrable until a mage in league with Tremere purposely lowered the defenses and then fled.
Oh.
Every mage except the Tremere sympathizer were slaughtered by the Craft Masons' army of professional soldiers and peasants.
Oh shit. Okay.
Mistridge was razed.
So okay, I'm trying to get like a grip on like all the sides of the war here. So is Tremere and everybody else versus these craft masons and
No,
financiers?
no,
Or
Tremere is not fighting the Craft Masons. In fact, something to know about the Tremere War is that House Titulus, the other T, one of the two factions that prosecuted the war against Diende, openly allied with the vampire clan Zemisi in order to fight the Tremere.
oh shit. Oh, so they actually decided to go along with, probably one of the worst vampire clans to get rid of them because the Zamisi fucking hate Tremere.
Yeah, yeah, it was very. Now, don't get me wrong. There was an entire faction of mages that this would cause a problem for. But we don't have time to talk about the Palatine Knights. Um,
Got it. They sound like
long story
crusaders, so I'm just gonna guess they're
yeah,
crusaders.
the Palatine is Latin, anglicized to be paladin. The point is that they were very religious mages. They gave birth to the Cabal of Pure Thought. Um,
Anything to do with the Inquisition?
yes, actually,
Yeah,
but
okay, makes
not
sense.
really important right now.
Yeah, moving
Um,
on.
the Cabal of
Mistate.
Pure Mistridge. After their victory at Mistridge, the 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 Craft Masons would gather more allies for their banner. The high the artificers, also known as the artisans, as well as the Cabal of Pure Thought, who at this point existed as a group of religious mages who believed that their god, the god of the Roman Catholic Church,
Like the
should be
Hammer
the one
Hammer.
and only god, as well as later on the Kosian Circle.
Okay. And they did.
They assaulted the White Tower of Languedoc. Um,
Okay. I assume no correlation to the Ivory Tower of the Camarilla.
no, no. But after their successful destruction and takeover of the White Tower,
Okay,
Snick,
Wyvern.
Snick,
Yeah, I'm a snake now.
adorable.
I'll get the timer.
Yeah. After that,
Continue.
after the destruction of the tower, they they gathered
Also,
all their
hello,
great
Wyvern.
men. Hello, all the great men of science and reason that they had, and they made the proclamation of the White Tower, that man
Mm-hmm.
should be governed not by magic, but by order, reason, and science.
I mean, fair enough.
This was the beginning of what would be known as the Ascension War, and the rest of important shit will be covered during the
The
technocracies
techno.
portion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm assuming this is this formation and starting of the technocracy.
This is the official formation of the Order of Reason, and which would later become the technocracy.
Okay, that makes sense. Also, yeah, hi Wyvern. Good to see you. I was in your stream earlier, but I didn't really say anything. I,
A chat. Um,
anyways, but yes. So, start
the
of the tech.
order
Continue.
the Order of Hermes would be one of the one of the hardest traditions to bring into the nine mystic traditions.
Okay.
I didn't write down his name. I think it's Sumar. Hold on.
Sumer?
No, no. That is not what I wanted.
That's not what I fucking asked for.
In the
Man, who knew dealing with mages would be so complicated?
I know, right?
All of us. Uh,
I love it that all of this stuff is super well laid out. So when I forgot to write down a man's name, I can a super important man's name. I can fucking find it with ease.
we're so well organized, everyone. Don't worry. We know what we're doing here. The deeper and darker podcasts, we all know exactly what's going on at all times.
The Council of Nine. That's it. We're looking at the first. I don't care about Nightshade right now. Shut up.
Aw.
Nightshade will be important later.
Okay.
Lauren. I don't really. He's not it, right?
Ah. Don't look at me. You're the one giving the speech here. Also know about the
There,
hermetic orders. They're kind of
Shazar.
goofy.
That's it. Shazar. Yeah,
Shazam?
Shazar. That's it. No, Shazar. Um, I'm sorry. He's part of the Seers of Kronos. They're the Cult of Ecstasy. Don't switch to it yet.
Okay.
We'll talk about him later. The point is that the person tasked with bringing them into the first Council of Nine traditions had their work cut out for them. That man had to lie, cheat, and successfully win duels against 12 mages to attempt to convince them to come to the convocation at Mistridge. That isn't what did it.
Yeah.
The Craft Masons and their allies, after successfully destroying the White Tower of Languedoc, attacked the central fortification, the home of the Order of Hermes, Durinmar.
Okay.
During this battle, the Craft Masons let everything they had out. Clockwork soldiers, trained knights, paladins, clockwork tanks, airships.
Okay.
And the Order of Hermes basically lost.
Oh.
They they took time in order to activate old runes, old glyphs in Durinmar. which allowed them to which, due to how they had built over top of it, over top of them over the years, transport only about half of their capital, of their basically their capital, away, leaving many apprentices and adepts to be slaughtered by the still attacking craft masons.
So they basically pulled an Anarch war where all the elders just left all the other people, left their fucking childhood to fucking die.
Yeah, except for they were all going to die, or they could save, what they could. That
Yeah,
was
it's
the
fair
issue.
enough.
They then teleported Durinmar to Mistridge for the convocation. The first actual convocation, which we'll talk about more, which we'll talk about like the getting together more when we talk about the Cult of Ecstasy and Shazar. Um,
Yeah.
the first actual convocation was very well attended. It was like something like 1,000 mages actually ended up showing.
Oh, that seems like
And
very low attendance.
the Order of Reason made double time in order to attack Mistridge with the same sort of zeal that they did um Durinmar. Full fleets of airships, clockwork tanks, clockwork soldiers, professional soldiers, peasants when they could get them. Anything and everything they could muster to take down the mages in Mistridge. And Chad, I want to give you a guess as to what saved the mages in their time of need.
Uh,
Just take a guess. Just take any guess. Anything you can think of that might like save these mages in their time of need. Chat, but put in your guesses. Put in your guesses. It's gonna come out of left field.
I don't fucking know, man. The fucking I don't know, laser beams, the power of the sun, mirrors, an
Echo
actual
Echo
wise.
Echo. What is it two? What do you mean by two?
What the fuck you mean by two? I don't know. Wisely negotiated peace talks under a cup of tea. Like fuck, that's gonna happen.
Two is not an answer. But thank you anyways, Echo. Oh,
Motherfucker, this ain't multiple choice.
yeah, that ain't multiple choice. You can't pick C for every answer. No,
You fool! The test was never multiple choice. It was an essay question.
um, no, it was dragons.
What?
So the Order of Hermes, over its long history, had made quite a few pacts with the remaining dragons in Europe, and
Pause.
called in all their favors. This is not a joke.
Pause. Nah, pause. The fuck you mean? Oh yeah, they called in the dragon. The fuck you mean there are dragons?
No, there were dragons.
Oh no.
I don't think there technically are anymore.
They
Either
called him
way,
the drink. Shut the fuck up. I know you're Riv.
yeah,
I can see your face behind the monitor. I swear, don't.
I'm smiling. Yeah,
Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, the dragons? The fuck?
yeah, dragons. This gave them air superiority and gave them enough time to organize both a retreat and a proper resistance. Yeah, they call them
Okay.
the drink. Oh,
Oh my god, a beverage of sorts.
when I was a kid, they called them the juice box. Anyway,
Okay, for context outside the podcast, we have
no,
all.
don't give them context.
Actually, yeah, it's better without context. Let's just keep going. All you need to know is they call him the
It,
drink. That's all that
it
needs to
would
be
be
known.
it would be determined at this time that the nine mystic traditions, as they would now be called, needed a place out that the technocracy could not overtly siege. So, over the course of 9 years, master mages from all of the nine traditions, of which we will get into in a moment, built in the Umbra a moon-sized place called Horizon. This would be this would be the tradition's capital and base of operations. A moon-sized planetoid in the Umbra called Horizon.
I so they built a small moon in what is essentially the Shadow Realm.
No, they built it in the Middle Umbra, so it's kind of like not awful there.
Okay, fair enough. I Shit, I guess fair enough. I mean, nobody's
Um,
really gonna get you there unless they really try to. Or like the worm or the weaver gets pissed off, I guess.
yeah,
Or
they're
maybe
mages. They can.
I said,
They're
don't the wraiths live in like the middle Umbra, or am I thinking of
no,
them being in the
no.
Shadowlands?
The wraiths live in the Shadowlands in the
Yeah, I was
bottom
about to
Umbra.
yeah, I was about to say I was maybe I was just about to say. Anyways, yeah. Middle Umbra, cool. What's in the
Next, we're
middle?
gonna talk about the the um the Akashic Brotherhood, also known as the Akashiana Sangha, or the Akashiana. Um, the
Boop.
actual oldest magical tradition.
Okay.
They trace their origins back about 6,000 years to Tibet on their mountains, but they weren't doing a whole lot for a lot of that history.
That sounds about right
Mostly
so
they were
far, right?
training, meditating, and occasionally feuding with the Wung Kui, who originally the Wu Kui were the Kuei-jin, right? I'm getting that terminology right without looking.
As far as I'm aware, that's Yunque were the Quaijin.
Yeah, who used to be the Wulong.
It's a whole fucking thing.
It's a whole thing. But one of the
I
big
explained that in the
things
vampire episode.
is that they how do I put this? They believe in the Dharma. Long and short of it, they believe in the wheel of life. They believe in reincarnation because they know it exists because of their avatars.
I understand it from like I understand it from doing theology research of like Hinduism
Yeah.
and Buddhism and stuff like that. So yeah, I get what you mean. It's Buddha. It's a Buddhist practice, if I remember correctly.
Now, well, initially they didn't do a whole lot. In around 900 BC,
Motherfucker.
they they made an attempt to contact the Chakravanti, or the Euthanatoi. The Euthan would they be called the Chakravanti? Later known as the Euthanatos of the Euthanatoi. Um, the
The guy.
Chakravanti were Indian death mages were Indian death mages who also
Oh,
studied the Wheel of Life as the um Akash Akashic Brotherhood did. Um,
okay.
the big thing is that they both took it different ways. In that the Himalayan Wars, a series of wars that stretched from 900 BC to 600 BC,
Oh.
although it could have stretched all the way to 300 BC, um, because of a misunderstanding between the um the factions. Let's just say that one of the Akashiana um attacked a Euthanatoi for putting a sick dying man to death. Um,
Ah, yes.
it was this issue that caused these wars. The Akashics believed that they shouldn't do that for any reason, whereas the Chakravanti believed that it was a mercy to send them back to the wheel rather than just letting them suffer.
So it's the idea of let the dying man die, or let the dying man die without intervention.
Yeah. It is very much like let him die in peace, or as much peace as he's going to get, or let him live so that he might yet recover. Even if it doesn't look like he has a chance to, there is a chance he could.
Right.
This led to a 300 to 600 year long war, series of wars that saw so many mages in this region like die and reincarnate, and then take revenge on the person who had initially killed them, die and reincarnate, that it started spawning marauders. Marauders are something we'll cover later. Um, but long and short of marauders is that they're insane.
Okay,
They are
lovely to know.
insane, psychotic mages. We'll talk about them later.
So you're telling me reincarnation truly does exist in the world darkness?
For mages, especially, yes. The big thing is that because mages' avatars can be cycled back into new life if they with especially with specific rituals, you can
Mhm.
actually unlock like memories from your past life as a mage if you are a mage,
Oh, okay.
which allows you to go back and kill the person who killed you in your last life.
If you were killed in your last life.
Yes. The Akashic specifically practice magic using their martial art called Do. I literally, literally spelt D-O, Do, as in
Oh,
the English word do.
so, like do re mi fa sol la ti do.
Yeah, Do. It's Do. Um,
Okay.
this is
And
actually in a, go ahead.
that's it. And like, what happened? Like, what they use like fucking Haman or some shit?
What do you mean?
You know, like the JoJo, like Haman, you use power of sunlight to like force it through your body. It's a breathing technique thing, you know that.
I guess it doesn't really explain Do all that much. It's just that
It's just their martial art.
it's just their martial art.
Fair enough. I mean, shit. I guess.
Their place of power is a is it still Doisatep? Doisatep was originally a oh yeah, there is a current place of power due to things going on in the real world, but I'm not going to mention Doisatep since it doesn't matter. I did want to
Okay.
see if I could mention wherever the fuck they put the kung fu movie bullshit.
Kung Fu movie bullshit.
So, because the Akashic Brotherhood practices their form of magic through the martial art of Do, the boom in the 80s, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s of American kung fu movies gave them an idea to try and spread Do through those movies and through, of course, dojos throughout the continental United States.
I see the pun there. Very funny.
What
Eh,
pun?
the dojo.
Oh, yeah, I didn't actually get that one. That was not on
Oh,
purpose. That
fair
was
enough. I
actually
figured that.
not
I
on
figured
purpose. That
no.
was not
I
on
figured that was
purpose.
like the actual like game doing that, not you.
No, no, that was not on purpose. I did not do that on purpose at all.
Shit. I guess. So did it work?
Yes and no. There was an issue with it though, in that the technocracy really didn't like that, as well as because the traditions are more or less fighting a shadow war. The traditions as a whole didn't like them doing that. Um,
So in other words, it was your enemy doesn't like you doing it. Your friends don't like you doing it. Stop fucking doing it.
yeah, so they had to pull back on how hard they were pushing it in movies and how many dojos they were making, which really hampered it.
Which I'm guessing they were mostly in the West Coast.
It was a lot in the West Coast.
Fair enough. Anything else about these guys besides the Himalayan Wars and teaching kids how to do karate? Or are they just,
Yeah. Um,
Asia stereotype?
it was also the changes to Do that the general tradition as a whole didn't like, so they just stopped it altogether. They put a stop. There's not really much until we get to Horizon and why you can't contact it right now. But there is one thing I do want to talk about. There's
I'm
actually
sorry,
a great train.
you can't
What?
contact the capital of the mages?
Yeah, we're getting into that later.
Okay.
Um, you also the technocracy also can't contact Central Command, but that's not the point. Um,
Concern.
what was this thing? We're going to talk next about the Knight of Fana. Now, during the Himalayan Wars, with everything going on there, some of the Akashic Brotherhood, instead of heading south towards India, headed west and ended up in what would modern day be known as Iran or Persia at the time.
Okay.
They met with a group known as they went with a magical tradition known as the Dervishes that would later be part of the Al-e-Batan. We'll get to them in a second. During this, the Dervishes' mystical dance, as well as the Ali Batan, a specific part of Ali Batan's dough, during that practice, they matched up and they formed something. If I
Oh.
can find the fucking hyperlink so I can actually talk to this, known as the Kawaj al Akbar.
This is a lot of Middle Eastern words.
Yeah, welcome to the Alibaba. The long and short of it is, if anybody in here has played Dragon Ball or watched Dragon Ball Z,
Let's
who here
fucking
knows
go.
the fusion dance? Raise your hand.
Mm. Hand raised.
These
Yeah, I
two
love
mages.
Gogeta.
Yeah, I love Gogeta. Um,
I
these
love
two
two
mages,
buff, muscular men dancing with each other.
these two mages, in their unified dervish and dough practition, formed something called the Khwaj al Akbar. This was a literal fusion of these two people.
The
Um,
drink. Shut the fuck up.
the drink, yeah. Um, this event would later be known as the Night of Fana, and would be an integral part of the founding of the Alibaba. Um,
Okay.
After the dance was done, both men returned to their former selves, and everyone at that gathering had been effectively changed forever, seeing that that was a thing that could happen and what that meant.
So Deadass is just mage fusion dance.
Basically, yeah.
So
Um,
it's like basically the combining of avatars, I would say. Kind of.
it's
Or is it like, I would say it's the physical bodies melding together, I would assume, in some form or
it's
another.
both. Um,
Okay. Complicated.
it's a bit vague in what it is. What it does do is it did give people an understanding of what would be later known as the doctrine of unity. A an understanding of a specific sphere of magic that isn't well understood and simultaneously isn't represented on the council.
Okay.
Basically, nobody deals with unity with the exception of the Ali Bottans slightly. And even then, they were never part of they never even held the sphere of no one's held the sphere of unity in that. It's it's
It's
unity
complicated.
is complicated. It's complicated, and
Okay, yeah. Moving, but we
it's
can move
not
on.
it's super under described as far as I can
Not
tell.
not important at the moment. Right.
Oh, and
So what's next?
I feel like I should say this. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
retroactively say one thing though. The Order of Hermes, the Order of Hermes sits on the seat of forces. That is the seat that's the sphere of magic they have the seat of in the nine myth traditions. And the Akashic Brotherhood holds the seat of mind.
So can we quickly go over what the seats are?
Yeah. They correspond to the spheres of magic, being correspondence, entropy, forces, life, matter, mind, prime, spirit, and time.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I got that makes sense, I guess. Fair enough.
If you need a bit more of a description of them, like life and whatnot seem pretty easy, but you've got,
Whatever the
prime,
hell
which
prime is.
is
Is does it do something like math or something?
it's raw, it's the literally the raw energy of reality.
Oh,
There's
okay.
not
It
any
literally
else
just
to it.
prime forces.
Yes, it is literally the raw stuff of reality. There's
Okay.
nothing else to it. It is simultaneously super powerful and
So it's like
really
kind of like the wild.
I guess
It makes raw forces. That's what they. You get my drift.
it gives you the power to do things like take energy from inanimate objects, transfer, magic into other things, create inanimate objects from pure magic.
Shit, fair enough. I mean, makes sense, yeah. All right. Otherwise, I feel like
You've
time is
also
also
got
pretty important.
mind, which is
I feel
more or
like
less
kind of
thoughts and emotions, creating illusions. One
yeah.
of them you can get is literally a psychic blast. You can literally just brain blast people. That is not even the top tier thing. Um,
Oh man, I can't always play Jimmy Neutron.
yeah, I know, right? It allows you to astral project. Um,
Oh shit. Okay.
Spirit is would you would how would you like to hunt ghosts? How would you like to forcibly bind spirits to do things?
Man, Wraiths must love these guys.
How would you like to there's something I didn't talk about called the gauntlet. The gauntlet is the barrier that separates the umbra from like reality.
Yeah, I've researched it a little bit while doing the werewolf episode, but due to their moon bridges, it wasn't really that
Yeah,
big of an issue, so I didn't think I would mention it.
spirit mages can have the ability to open holes in the gauntlet to allow people to enter the Umbra. It's also the magic tradition that can perform Gilgul. Gilgul is something I haven't covered yet and
We'll get to
would
it.
have would thought of a cover later. Long and short of it is that because avatars have the ability to come back and inhabit new bodies and make people want to commit revenge, Gilgul is a specific magic that allows you to kill someone's avatar permanently.
Oh, 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 shit! So it's
It
basically like shattering their soul.
Yeah, the technocracy uses it very often on captured mages in order to destroy their avatar, but it's also used as a punishment by the traditions on people um of specific caliber.
Really, really infinitely stupid people are really defiant ones, I would assume.
Really, really stupid people. We'll cover that later.
Fair enough.
You've also got forces, which geez, how do I put this? It's
Force blast.
super vague. Holy shit. Um,
I'm just gonna believe it's force damage and move on from there.
it allows you to control things like heat, light, vibration, radiation, gravity. Um,
Okay, so it's basically being like a Jedi.
yeah, yeah, kind of. Except for you can convert certain forces into other forces. You can manipulate the patterns of forces. You can. It's it's all of its powers are exceptionally vague and allow you to do a lot of things. Like turning, a specific amount of gravity into radiation and killing them by giving them cancer.
Oh, okay.
Or
Yeah, it's
turning
fine.
or turning gravity into 100 times gravity and killing them by turning them into a pancake.
Oh, that's absolutely terrible.
You've
I
you've also
despise
got
that.
you also got matter, which you can change matter into other matter. You can alter
Yo,
properties
really?
of matter. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can give a solid the properties of liquid,
Yo,
or
that's
a
crazy.
or a plasma the properties of solids.
Whoa, I love having a cube of lightning.
Yeah, you can. It's the second tier power. Basic transmutation lets you turn lead into gold. That's it. That's
Yeah.
like you can say that its third form lets you turn lead into a fog. That is, and there are two more normal powers that it has. Its fourth level lets you turn lead just into a gun,
Oh shit. Okay.
and there's one tier above that
Nuclear
that doesn't
bombs?
even. Yeah, it allows you to turn lead into your mom.
Shut the fuck. I
The
actually
next one
found
is
I did find
the
out today that
what?
apparently we have found a way to make lead into gold by using nuclear fission.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's reality.
Then there's life magic. Life magic it's healing, of course. The second tier is healing. You can do healing. You can also influence simple life forms like fungi and invertebrates and plants. At
Okay.
the first level, you can just sense life. You can sense life things.
Should I assume the higher ranks are creating life?
The fourth rank is allowing you to transform yourself into whatever physical features you want.
Oh. So
Though
Zumishi.
normally human. The,
Okay.
the the top level is allowing you to transform humans into frogs. That's
Ah,
just an example,
shit.
though. You can transform humans into anything at that point.
Ah, shit. Okay.
And
Bippity
you can
boppity motherfucker,
also
you're turning into a cat.
yeah, you can also do this funny thing where you no longer need to eat or drink water because you literally breathe through your skin.
Okay, yeah, cool. The life seat might be just a little strong.
Are you telling me none of any of these are a little weak?
None of these are weak. No, these are all. I can now understand why people have difficulty balancing these fucking games.
It's because it's not balanced. It's inherently not balanced. I haven't even talked about correspondence.
Okay, right.
Um,
Anything left on our boys here?
Well, I haven't even covered correspondence, time, or entropy.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Correspondence is it lets you make portals. It lets you teleport. It's the teleportation magic.
These are the motherfuckers causing the war on Saturn.
Yes and no.
No.
That's just what I'm gonna leave it to. It's more complicated than that, but like I want to cut down its time because it's the easiest one to it's one of the easiest ones to just sum up. Like time magic. Did you know that its top tier powers you could get the ability to time travel, or you could get the ability to exist outside of everyone else's temporal field and be immune to other time effects?
What the fuck?
You can capture people in a time bubble to stop things from to stop time magic from affecting them.
You know
You
what?
can give yourself bullet time. No joke,
That's
they just call it that. It's bullet time. You slow
that's
everything else
fucking
but yourself
hilarious.
down.
What? I'm sorry.
The
There's gotta be like a
third tier
time. I'm assuming there's a time loop spell somewhere in there.
uh
Probably. Because
time
like my
travel.
first
You can
immediate thought is, oh man, I really hate this one particular other like mage. I'ma fuck with him for the rest of his life. He's now
uh,
permanently stuck shitting on the
y-
toilet, and every time it's
yeah.
just about to go, it just immediately goes right back up. Eternal torture.
A fourth tier ability that's super useful is Anchor Point, which allows you to create anchors in time to allow you to more easily use your fifth tier power, time travel, to go
Oh,
forward or back in time.
well, shit, I guess.
In
Mages
fact,
really are the definition of, man, back in the day. Anyways, so the
ironically,
1950s.
a third tier power is just rewind time, where you just rewind time by a few seconds or minutes, or loop time for a few seconds or minutes.
What the fuck?
That's not all of them. That's the worst part. Last but not least, the seat of entropy. Um,
I don't know. I'm assuming they have something to do with entropy. Go
your
figure.
second tier ability allows you to control probability and always come up as double sixes.
Oh, shit, okay.
Um,
So their powers are not really entropic,
I
they're more
I
luck-based?
fucking hate that power name. I hate that I pulled this up to look at this. Why did I do this?
What's the name of the power?
One of its fifth tier powers allows you to influence ideas themselves and cause them to change and evolve,
Oh,
called
no.
shape memes.
I'm sorry, what?
You can shape memes. Memes, Jack.
They're all over
You literally
Twitter.
become Typhoon. You literally become Typhoon from Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
Ah, what an exquisite meme.
Basically, yeah.
I hate that,
You
but
could
also
you could
hilarious.
also put a Gias on anyone. If anyone's played D&D, you know what a Gias is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, Echo Monsoon.
Or Monsoon. I'm sorry, not Typhoon. That's an ad break from me. But it doesn't
Bro,
matter.
that's an ad break for me. Fucking forces everyone into one.
And keep in mind, all of those big powers, and even some of the small ones that I just described, were only the first 5 tiers. In Old World of Darkness, there were expansion books that got you up to tier 10, and tier 10 abilities are always just considered plot device. Time travel isn't considered a plot device in Mage.
What the
Keep that in
fuck is
mind for viewers at home.
what the fuck is considered a plot device?
Plot devices are whatever are abilities that the GM gives you that says this does whatever you want it. This does whatever I want it to do.
Oh,
It is very much like, yeah, you can instantly kill this motherfucker with this power. It is something that specifically in the Time of Judgment books, in Gehenna, the one for the vampires, it is something that says, yeah, there are antediluvians here. If you diablerize them, give them this rank 10 power, antediluvian power, plot device. You need to come up with it because we don't know what to give them. We don't know
bait.
what could be worth a 10 pit power. We literally don't. We have no idea.
Okay, yeah, that's fun. That
But
must be a nightmare to fucking balance, if at all.
yeah, no, rank 10 powers were never meant to be balanced. They're not meant to be in the game. Um,
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
they are end of the world style scenarios, but we're moving on from the Akashic Brotherhood and moving on to the Alibat with the Knight of Fauna.
Okay. Their symbol feels very familiar to me for some reason.
It looks like the sun.
Great. Yeah, I know. It also reminds me a little bit of like the Banu Hakim symbol, but just the filled in like the reverse.
Isn't that interesting? It looks kind of like the Banu Hakim
Oh, don't
symbol.
fucking tell me it's just the Banu Hakim.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Although the founding member of the Assamites, whatever his name was, is slightly important. Um,
That isn't it just Asimar?
it used to. No, his name used to be Hakim. Um, they used to be called the Assamites.
Yes, they were the Asamites, but I swear he had like a thingamajig with him. You can keep talking, I'll look it up.
You're good. Wow. So the subtle ones, as they're also known, the Ali Batan, um, group of Arabian mages, they formerly sat on the seat of correspondence. They used to be the teleport mages. Um,
Okay.
they're a group of combined traditions or crafts, as we'd like to call them.
Mhm.
They're how do I put they they set up something called the Web of Faith. The Web of Faith is something we'll cover in a minute because they only unified in 100s in 100 AD.
Also, yes, the founder of the Banu Hakim, go figure, his name's Hakim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you check the Methuselah names for me while we're here?
I can.
Could
One
could you
sec.
just list off any of the ones that start with A for me? Because I'm looking for one of them and I'm
Abu Ilef Anath.
no.
Let me see if I fucking Banu
It doesn't
Hakim
matter.
Methuselah.
It doesn't matter. The point is that they how do I put this? They're a series of crafts, different mystical. You didn't change the thing.
Yes, I did. It's the sun.
Oh wait, the stream's fucking paused on my screen for some reason.
But also, I found another one of the names, Anon.
No. Um.
As those are all the Banu Hakim. Those are all the Asamite ones.
Um.
It's just Abu Ilef, Anath, and then Anon. There's also Deshur Ashosh, Al Astrid, or Al Ashrad. Uh,
Shrug. That's it.
yeah, okay, Al Ashrad.
Um.
He's
The king during a in a funny event um in Arabia Home. I
yes.
want to make sure I'm getting this right. It's the wow, that's not what I was looking for. Hold on. Plague of 10 the 10,000 Jinn plague. Um
Uh huh.
this was a issue that happened in the middle 900s into Arabia. 10,000 demons were
Oh,
10,000 actual demons were set loose upon Arabia by
this thing you mentioned, right?
yeah, by someone called Shaitan. Um, in fact, the semi-official leader of the Bali, also known as Baal or possibly Set. Um,
Wait, what?
it wasn't actually Set, but
I figured not, but if it was, I was about to say, huh?
King Suleiman the Wise, also known as King Solomon, the Mage King of Israel,
Okay.
gathered together all the mages of the region in order to fight against this plague. Other notable members who fought against this plague was someone who went by the name of Al Ashra the Demon Slayer,
I wonder.
someone who would later become a Banu Hakim Methuselah.
Fair enough.
These mages would later go their separate ways after this plague, though those who would later form the Ali Batan or the Patini or the subtle ones, as I've been continuously calling them, would be fighting the Fallout demons that went to ground who were not killed or bound
Which I assume is a
over the
lot of
next
them.
over the next several years, even after the initial summoner, who was definitely didn't call himself the son of Satan in Arabic. Um
Okay.
um
Bit on the
even after
nose
his
there, huh, buddy?
yeah, even after his fortress was razed and the earth around it was salted. Um they would later form during after Islam came to prominence. Um
It's a little on the nose to where it's a little painful, to be honest. But yes, continue.
what do you mean? The son of Satan summoning 10,000 demons?
Crazy. I could have never guessed.
Um
Yes. So what happened after
but
that?
they did eventually form. There was an event around it. I just didn't write it down. I don't think it's important enough right now.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, Ali Button. The Ali Button, though, were invited to the first convocation. In fact, they were big members of it, important members, and in fact, they were one of the most stable members of it up until the end of World War One.
What happened in the First World War?
In the First World War, something this is where I want to talk about the Web of Faith. The Web of Faith, at its height, is a series of magical nodes held by the Ali Bot and their traditions, which are predominantly Islamic now, as opposed to the Zoroastrian, which
Makes
during
sense.
the yeah, during the rise of Islam, many of the mages be converted. Um, there's a specific event that happened. I think it had to do with the Nafandi of the region. Um,
Okay.
but I didn't write it down, and so I'm not going to cover it since we don't have. Since we're already like an hour and
We're an
17 in.
hour and a half, yeah. Or almost an hour and a half.
Yeah. And we still have
We have a lot.
three,
We're only
four,
number 3.
five,
Keep going.
6, 7, 8, like 8, 9, 10, 11 things to cover. Uh,
We got a ways. Keep
yeah.
talking,
And
Mage
they formed
boy.
something called the Web of Faith. The Web of Faith is a magical protection network.
Makes sense. Yeah, okay.
It is a series of nodes and chantries connected to each other magically that allow them to more easily combat things like demons and Nefandi, which we'll cover later, and it helped prevent the technocracy from assaulting their interior territory, like
Mm-hmm.
Arabia or Anatolia.
Okay.
At its height, it was all the way from Spain to Indonesia.
Damn.
At the end of the First World War, guess which nation collapsed?
A lot of them.
Right, but which one of these nations we're talking about collapsed?
Indonesia, to my knowledge.
Wrong. It
Wait,
may
no.
have, but
I
it may
mean,
have, but
it
I don't
kind of
think
had
it
a
would.
weird whole restructuring. That's beside the point.
Yeah.
Um.
No, the sick man of Europe, the Ottoman Empire,
Oh.
finally caved in.
Yeah, that is true, and they gave way to Turkey and such.
Yes. Um, the Ali Button after this, who had been, while assaulted by the technocracy, far more secure in their position than any of the other traditions, retreated to their home territories in order to fight them on their own terms. Because of this, the seat of correspondence sat vacant for quite a long time.
But then,
We're not talking about we're not talking about the virtual adepts. They come in a lot later. They don't join
okay,
until after World War II. Uh,
okay, but then what happened?
Technically they won and lost. They still have a lot of their territory, but the technocracy is really leaning on them hard since they're alone now. They're all
Eh,
alone.
all by themselves.
Next, we're going to be covering the cupbearers of Aset, known today as, or not known as that, since they don't actually all come from that. The Celestial Chorus.
Okay, fancy ass name. I assume pretty fancy ass people.
The Celestial Chorus are the kind of motherfuckers to sing. They're your songbirds.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know, right? Um, the how do I describe them without talking about three different the celestial chorus, or each known as celestial choristers, um, are an amalgamation. They're primarily tied to Abrahamic faiths, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, but they also have quite a bit of polytheists in there. Um, they're the initial group that would necessarily form them were the Mithraic singers. I almost
Okay.
fucked that up. The Mithraics were polytheists, I believe. Um, initially, and not even all of them. Some of them were. How do I fucking put this? It doesn't matter. The point is that they were feuding with a group called the Messianic Voices. And the Messianic Voices were Christian, not not Roman Catholic exclusively, but they
Pretty
were a group
heavily.
of they were a group of Christian awakened.
Okay. I'm assuming
Um,
either
but
I'm going to assume they either ended up joining the choir or shit, everything went bad.
well, what happened is that the Mithraic singers and the Messianic voices feuded constantly over, for power until the until Constantine declared Christianity the official religion of the empire, and the Mithraics had to go underground to survive.
Oh.
The Messianic voices, though, also had to go underground much later during the reign of Charlemagne, due to the formation of the Cabal of Pure Thought. The Cabal of Pure Thought believed that there should be one world under one God, and that was the God of the Roman Catholic Church.
Ah, the Catholics.
The Palatine Knights crusaded, and the Messianic voices went underground in churches and mortuaries, where they could mostly practice in peace.
Fair enough. And from there on forward,
From there on forward, they were invited to the convention of the. They were invited
join?
to join the initial convocation. Um, how do I put this without talking about the Protestant Reformation? Um,
No.
in in
Okay.
the initial in the second convention of the in the second convention of the traditions on Horizon, they, as well as their old rival the Mithraic singers, arrived, as well as washouts of certain other factions that would be in this tradition. I don't know why I wanted to say convention there. uh
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you're talking about the convention, so it makes
yeah,
sense.
they effectively joined together, all effectively sitting on the seat of Prime as the Celestial Chorus. Now, I could talk about the what the fuck was his name? The bishop, who really wanted to have as many people as possible doing the whole singing for one better world thing, but it's this neither here nor there. Um, they
Okay.
have ranks, but I don't want to talk about their Pontifex Maximus or anything like that.
I'm not talking. We're not talking about the Sabbat today.
This isn't spot. That being said, they do have a number of Zoroastrians, Hindus, Sufis, Sikhs, Rastafarians,
Just kind of everybody.
Hindus. It's a lot of people. Um,
Smash Brothers,
it's
everybody's here.
yeah, it's a Smash Brothers. Everybody's here one, except for it's specifically a religious organization. As long as you have religion, you're in, and you're willing to sing for magic.
I'll say so. Like, we're just talking like religion, no, or are we talking like also true faith kind of situation?
The Celestial Choristers actually do have a high chance of having true faith.
Okay,
They are because a lot of them legitimately believe, there is a good chance that on top of their magic they have true faith, which is stupid powerful, but it's still exceptionally rare.
makes sense. Fair enough. Anything else about the Celestial Choristers?
I mean, they have a lot of factions in them. They have nothing really important. A lot of their members, not a lot of them, but some of their members participated in the Inquisition, as a
Oh,
part of the Inquisition. but there
Oh.
weren't a whole lot of them. And in the modern day, they have an entire sub-faction of defecting Knights Templar under their belt.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Sounds very
Next, we're gonna move on since I don't really have a lot to talk about for the Celestial Chorus.
I would
They're
say it
very
sounds very
important.
persecuted.
They're very important, but they were and are a founding member, and they do not have as they have a solid history. It's just we have more people to talk about.
Yeah. Alright, next up is the
Next, we're going to talk about the Seat of Time,
flower boy.
formerly known as the Seers of Kronos, the Cult of Ecstasy.
Man, I wonder why they're symbols of flower.
It's because they do drugs.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a feeling.
The cult has a lot of belief, like doing like drugs, sex, and rock and roll are how they should do time magic.
So
This
it's
is
the
not a
House of
joke.
Slanesh.
Yeah, except for like not awful.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, better iteration. It's the Lotus Eaters from Percy Jackson. You know, that hit cool kid series.
I never actually read Percy Jackson.
There's a nightclub or like a casino where the Lotus Eaters from Greek mythology are, and you like eat lotus petals and you forget that you're like there. So time feels like it passes away. Like
Huh.
you can be in there for what feels like, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours.
Anyways,
You'll be there for like 3 weeks.
they were originally known as the Seers of Kronos because
Yeah.
they're the largest groups that formed them was from Greece. But we're gonna move on from that and talk about Shazar, also known as Shazar the Seer and Shazar the Timeless, the official founder of the Cult of Ecstasy.
I'm slightly sad he doesn't have the title of the Great as well.
No, he was not that full of himself. Um, Shazar was a Persian prophet.
Ah, I see.
He is the person who got together with Nightshades, and we'll talk about later, as well as a mage of the Order of Hermes,
Uh-huh.
Lasalle of the Order of Hermes, as well as Valorian of the Celest of what would become the Celestial Choir. Um,
Okay.
he brought these people together because he had had a vision. He was a prophet, and he had a vision using effectively
Crazy.
time magic. Yeah, I know, right? Um,
The guy who's supposed to
he
tell the future told the future?
Yeah. What he believed is he had been told that if the traditions of magic did not band together under one banner, they would be swept aside by the sands of time.
I mean, safe to assume, yeah.
And to this end, he he is the man who effectively made the traditions happen.
He's the one who set everything in motion.
He set everything in motion. He brought a group to Mistridge, not the first convocation, but a group of four four mages.
Okay.
Himself, Nightshade of what would later be known as the Verbene, Lasalle of the Order of Hermes, and Valorian of the Choir Celeste, and brought them into a truce and sent them on their way to gather as many mages as possible to bring back to Mistridge.
Okay.
We already talked about the Order of Hermes and the Celestial Choir. Um, but we haven't talked about the Verbena yet. We won't yet. But
Yeah, I was about to say, are we gonna talk about them next?
no, we're talking about the Euthanatos next.
Okay. Alright, so anything else left with the Cult of Ecstasy?
Wait, where the fuck is the Verbena? Did I? Hey, Shad, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Where's the little triangle mark in the PowerPoint? When is that?
Little triangle mark?
There should be two triangles. One of them is tall, and the other one is wide. Where's the wide one?
The wide one is at 2 slides from now.
Okay.
It's after the omega symbol.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. Um that would be the Verbena, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
But
Uh,
next,
I was say, is
the
there anything
cult of
left on the Cult of the or fucking Ecstasy Boys, or is that just it?
the cult I mean, there's quite a bit. They were renamed the Cult of Ecstasy in 1865 after Shazar reappeared.
What?
Yeah, he came back.
like time travel came back or just didn't
Yes,
die?
but like one of them, we don't know. That's the issue, right? The Here's the thing: the sphere of life. Once you get old enough as a mage, right? You start to do this thing where life magic, you can literally just extend your life by making yourself younger, by making yourself
Oh.
physically younger.
Oh.
The entire reason why Tremere rebelled is because he had realized that the life magic that the potions he was making to keep himself young were slightly less effective, and he just wanted to not need to take them anymore.
That is
The worst part is that most of the founding members of the traditions, or at least their successors, are alive in the modern day. They're just not able to contact people. Tremere is literally a big fucking baby.
so he's a fucking moron. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, literally, yes.
I mean, spoiler alert for those who don't know, he's not even actually really Tremere anymore. So that's beside
No,
the
he's
point.
no, he's Tremere now.
No, he okay. Well, I mean, fifth edition, as far as I'm aware, he's like Tremere's body is inhabited by Salot,
Yeah, no, but like
but like Tremere
uh,
himself is it wasn't even Goratrix or whatever his name was.
Gortrix, yeah.
Yeah, I was supposed to say it was having like Sabat members.
In the modern age, they were
That's
really
beside the
big in
point.
the 50s and 60s.
I wonder why.
I know, right? There's not a whole lot to talk about them. They're very popular. Um,
Again, I wonder why.
I could talk. We could probably talk a whole lot more about them, but it's an hour 30, and we still have more to talk about. I know
Yeah,
I
all right.
keep saying that,
Yeah,
but
no,
like
no, that's pretty much what.
this
No, it's
might
my thought process too.
yeah, this might end up being only like in a 2 hour or 3 hour stream.
I'm
That'll be
thinking three
fine.
hours because we still got a ways to go.
Anyways, the Euthanatos, also known as the Euthanatoi, previously known as the Chakravanti.
I'm assuming that's the Omega symbol, guys.
Yep, the
Let's deal with
the
them.
Euthanatos are primarily from Indian and Greek death mages. Um,
Yeah, I was wondering where the Omega symbol came in here.
yeah, they sit on the seat of entropy. And
Okay.
as with the Akashiatics explanation, they fought with the Akashics a lot.
I wonder why. Man, it's almost as if we went over that.
Now,
Oh
something to
no.
note is that the reason why the Euthanatos are the way they are now is because of Alexander the Great.
Like the
The
the ruler
Alexander the
guy.
Great. Yeah, the Greek. Yeah.
What the fuck did he do?
Oh, a priest from Persian and Greek priests had followed him, and
Oh.
this was where the first contact of death mages from Hades and whatnot interacted with the Chakravanti.
Oh. Uh Fair enough, I guess.
They had feuded with the soon to be Ali Batan, due to the fact that the Ali Batan were Islamic.
Religious
And
wars, normal shit.
yeah, and they had joined the Grand Convocation, because of course they did, because Shazar had asked them to.
Oh. Fair enough, I guess.
Now that's oversimplifying by a fucking long
Yeah, I
shot.
can imagine, but yeah, fair enough.
But the point is they had joined as a founding member of the nine mystic
Other
traditions.
traditions, yeah.
Yeah. They to this day are still members. They're how do I put it? They're alive.
They exist.
They're popular in certain parts of the world, but they're not, like they're not the
Small
most popular.
circles.
Well, they're not small circles. I mean, it's Mage. They're all small circles.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fair.
Something we're going to talk about in the Technocracy episode is going to be how magic was very much a solitary practice for almost every tradition. Actually, we'll talk about with the Verbene. What the fuck am I talking about?
Yeah. Anyway. So what else are left with the Horseshoe Boys?
Um,
Or is that just pretty much it? They're just
I mean,
the death
like,
cult.
I hate to just like talk about them like that. Yeah, they're the death cult.
Shit, I guess.
But
That's
like
I feel like my overarching fucking thing with World Darkness so far is just the well, shit, I guess.
the issue is they are trying to be one of the good guys, right? They're not like a death cult, as in like
They're not.
everybody
They don't
should
want to commit
die.
murder. They're the that's
It's
gonna
very much
happen.
yeah, it's very much like they worship the gods of death. Basically, they worship the cycle of death.
Makes
They're not
sense.
trying to kill everyone because if everyone dies, new life won't exist.
Yeah, no, that makes
People
sense.
have to live for things to die.
They're about the cycle of death, not death itself.
Yeah, it's why they they believe in mercy killings and not forcing people to suffer.
Damn, the NCR would love these guys.
Yeah, no shit. Um,
Anyways, so is that everything with them,
there's
basically?
actually quite a lot on them, but I really don't want to talk about World War II until I can talk about like extra content.
My
Um,
fear, as soon as you, every time the Second World War is mentioned in a World Darkness video, I'm gonna start taking shots because of how scared I am of the Charnel House accidentally being mentioned.
anyways, we're gonna talk about the Verbene now.
Triangles. By the way, when you first sent me this image, I'm like, why the fuck is there a pyramid ship?
I know, right? No,
What, I
these are
don't
the
want to play
Verbene.
Destiny. I don't want to play Destiny again. You can't make me. No.
The Verbene sit on the seat of life. They're pagans, druids, witches, the like.
The
Um,
classic type of magic shit.
shamans, mystics, that sort.
Yeah. Fucking
They were
Conan the
originally
Barbarian type
founded.
dude.
Yeah, they were originally founded by Nightshade and her chosen husband. What the fuck was his name?
I don't
Oh, this is the
fucking.
wrong game. Why the fuck did I have this pulled up?
Oh.
This is about the time of myth. I don't want to talk about that. That doesn't matter.
Okay. I don't even want to know what that is. I really don't. By the way, quick follow up question on something I never addressed. The
Oh yeah.
dragons dying out and shit, did that happen back during the Messianic War, or was that just like
You see,
a
here's the
later issue?
thing. The issue is like I don't have access to all of these books. A lot of the research I had to do was off the White Wolf wiki. So the answer is they had made deals with dragons during the time of myth, and then it's never explained what happened to the dragons.
Shit, fair enough, I guess.
Um, what is known is that dragons existed.
I
Ta-da!
shit, I guess. I know there are dragon shifters in the
No, these are just
east, but these are
dragons.
like just dragons,
These are
yeah.
just dragons.
They are apparent. Oh. Oh, that's what the okay. So apparently the dragons were actually a type of chimera from the dreaming, and they just went back there.
Huh. That makes sense. Anyways, we're gonna talk about the Verbene now.
Alright, what's with Triangle Boys?
The Verbene were originally pagan shamans. Pagan shamans and druids from the Celtic Gallic, from the Celts and what were originally the Germans.
Okay.
I forgot to turn off my ringer.
Yeah, you're all good,
Uh,
don't worry about it.
anyways,
They may have
they were
also
originally
gone to
founded
the
by Nightshade, who
oh.
where the fuck is his name? Why the fuck didn't I write down his name?
I don't know, but apparently also it's theorized that the dragons might have also went to the Penumbra. So I don't fucking know. Or the Deep Umbra, should I rephrase myself? So they're either in the Dreaming or they're in the Deep Umbra. Who the fuck knows?
Anyways, she and and who would later be her husband formed the Verbene. The Verbene are a loose consolidation of old pagan magical practices from Germany, the Celts, and eventually they would encompass a significant portion of the old practices of pre-European North America.
Okay.
And
I'm
I mean
assuming
this
a
like
lot of native tribes of the Americas probably were part of these guys.
they were. The big thing
Hmm.
is it didn't they didn't go over in 1492 or a little earlier than that. Nightshade herself literally traveled over Old Norse trade routes and found America, and then then convinced tribes from over there to please come over. We were trying to save your magical traditions.
Oh, yeah, that would do it.
Yeah. Um, so
Shit.
it's not all Native American mages became part of the Verbene. All the leftovers became part of a different one. In fact, the next one we'll talk about, which is the Dream Speakers, but we'll talk about them later. Um,
Okay.
the Verbene are a bit much. How do I put it? So you know how when we talk about Christians talk about devil magic, right? They use the
Yeah.
whole dancing naked under the pale moonlight,
Uh,
using blood,
yeah, yeah, yeah. The classic
using
things
what
people think is
drawing,
satanic.
carving symbols. Have you ever watched Blair Witch?
Yes, good movie.
The Blair Witch would be a Verbene mage.
Okay, fair enough. Fun fact
Um,
about that movie, by the way, it's actually thought the whole thing was actually a fucking practical joke gone wrong, and it just ended up with the guys murdering the one chick, and that was the whole plan the whole time apparently. And the Blair Witch never actually existed.
that's not what the movie's about. The movie's about the Blair Witch. Anyway, um.
Continuing, yes.
So a lot of the early history of the traditions is the more Christian mages not really liking them a whole lot. Oh,
I wonder why.
I know, right? It's like they overtly worship pagan gods and dance naked in the pale moonlight without really caring who was around.
Oh
Um,
man, it's almost as if like the Christian faiths at the time and still modernly aren't a big fan of pagan faiths. Crazy. Ooh.
um, is there
Anyway,
any questions you had about them? Because they still exist, right?
I mean, do they have like incredible prominence as it stands in Mage Society, or are they just kind of?
They're they still sit on the seat of life, right? They're still
Oh,
like a
okay, there's
major
that'll
factor.
yeah.
It's just that they're not a lot of what they do right now is they're trying to put an emphasis on incorporating themselves back into cultures because they're not heavily like a lot of their ideas are no longer in the minds of sleepers.
Uh,
Sleepers being normal
yeah,
people.
regular people.
Yeah,
Yeah. Fair. Ironically, Sacred and Wild just started playing. We're going to ignore that. Fair enough. All right. Well, if that's all, who's up
yeah,
next?
they're your classic druids, right? Like they don't like they.
They're
It's not
they're
that there's
they're the
okay.
plant whispers and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. Let's talk about the dream speakers. The dream speakers are a tradition in the
Oh, that's a
same way.
sick ass symbol. Hello.
I know, right? The dream speakers are a tradition in the same way that a charcuterie board is a meal.
Chart. You mean charcuterie board?
Yeah, a charcuterie board. It's the same way a charcuterie board is a meal. You're not technically incorrect, but that's also not right.
I. It's an appetizer. Yeah.
But you could eat one as a meal, which means I'm not technically wrong. I'm just incorrect.
You just shouldn't. Yeah. I mean, I guess you
The,
could. I mean, yeah, yeah, okay.
the
What's
dream speakers,
what's their deal?
the dream speakers who sit on the seat of spirits are not are kind of a tradition. They are a amalgam of the leftover African, Native American, Inuit, Aboriginal Australian, and Shinto practitioners who were not gotten
That
to by the Verbene or who refused to join them.
that feels. I'm sorry. Shinto feels like a little bit of a left field. Like the
The
rest of these, like okay, you know what? That makes sense. A lot of these are
I
like super
I
native
think you
cultures.
misunderstand.
Shinto.
The Nightshade's husband had actually talked the Akashics into coming to the convocation, but he died later on before he got to Japan.
Ah, I see.
They didn't have a chance.
Damn. Fair
Now,
enough, I
something to note
guess.
is these dream speakers actually arrived at the second convocation in Horizon,
Okay.
entirely uninvited.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were
Okay.
all guided there by either, ancestor spirits, world spirits, things that knew that they had to be at this convocation to survive, but, none of them spoke local languages. So there became an issue of they were sort of given the seat of spirit as a group before they were able to organize themselves.
Yeah, that could be a bit of a problem.
So they have a fuck ton of different societies and different organizational structures, such as the Red Spear Society, Keepers of the Sacred Fire, the Ghost Wheel Society, the Four Winds, the Spirit Smiths. The point is that they're not super unified.
They're a bit all over the place, yeah. I was just wondering where Turbo Granny comes in, but we're gonna ignore that part.
Which one's Turbo Granny?
It's from Dan Da Dan.
What?
New anime thing. It's a it.
Okay,
I'll show you after we're done here.
okay. Uh,
It's funny. Don't worry about it.
the the Dream Speakers were honestly pretty alright until Europe hit the Age of Discovery.
Oh
And
no,
then yeah, and then most of the places where their homes were started being,
not as
freely
home.
assaulted, yeah, freely assaulted by the technocracy.
Ah, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that I was wondering when the technocracy was gonna fuck things up more. Yeah, that would do it.
Yeah. Um
So I'm assuming they're still pretty disorganized in this modern time.
they're still pretty fractured. They do effectively sit on that one seat, but like the big thing
It's
is that because of how their magic works and how a lot of them are do communication they commune with spirits, a lot of them have become urban techno shamans because of the
machines have spirits.
because machines have spirits, electricity, information, plastic, cities themselves have spirits that need tending to and need mediums.
Fair. Yeah, I was about to say. I remember we talked about that during my portion of the
Do
Glasswalkers.
you know how Shinto priests bless those fighter jets?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit we're talking about.
Okay. Yeah. This is
Like
a
some
random question because it just
yeah,
popped in my mind. Do these guys interact with Glasswalkers at all much, or
they may or may not. It's not super. Something to note is that super stated in the original Mage book, or at least the one I have, is that hey, if you sense a whole lot of quintessence in one area, maybe don't go there. That usually means werewolves are there. We don't know
quin-
why. Just
quintessence?
don't. Quintessence is the stuff of magic. It is what
Okay.
mages, with all exception of one tradition, agree as being the stuff of magic. It is what
So
magic
basically,
is.
it's their word for mana or whatever.
Basically, yeah, literally yes.
Okay.
Um,
I feel like I've heard the term
Sorry, I feel like I was
quintessence.
throwing that around without adequately explaining that. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. That was the first time you mentioned it in my mind, or that I understood.
Yeah, they all manipulate quintessence.
Okay.
Um, with the exception of one, but we're getting to them later. Um,
Fair. All right. Is there anything else with these guys, or is it just they're fractured and they sail in the sea of spirits? Is there like a head to this? To the dream. I'll say they were the dream walkers or something like that, right? Dream
they're the dream
speakers.
speakers. The dream
Yeah.
speakers.
So is there any like is there any like head to them, or is it just like complete
I
fractured?
mean, it's super fractured. Like they
Okay.
again, there are a whole lot of different like tradition like magical
They're
traditions
just everywhere.
all stuck together, right?
Okay.
So like they've got people who have to sit on the seat, but like it's never. I don't know exactly
Hmm.
how that's organized. It never said,
It
or at
doesn't
least I didn't see it.
specify. You know what? Fair enough. All right. Is that all with them, or is there?
Um, ooh, the Spanish really fucked them
Ah, are we talking the
because they
Spanish as in
decimated
just the Spanish, or the Spanish as in the Sabat Spanish?
no, the Spanish, as in they decimated the Aztecs, the Incas, and spread smallpox accidentally.
Okay, so yeah, the Sabat. Cool.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, because remember, kids, the Sabats in Spain, so that means the Spanish are evil. I'm still not wrong about that. And they always concurrently be that.
Next we're
Anyway.
going to move on to the Solificati, also known as the Solificato,
Uh,
also known as the Children of Knowledge.
is that the right symbol?
No, that's the Sons of Ether.
Okay, is it this one?
The circle with the spikes with the Star of David in the center, that's the one.
Yep, got it. You sent me them in the wrong order. It's fine.
Oh, sorry. Um, the Solificati originally sat on the seat of matter.
Yup. What's the matter,
The
baby?
Solif- the Solificati were born of the original Order of Reason. They were turncoats, people who did not believe that what the Order of Reason was doing was actually for the best of the world, and turned to the Order of Nine Mystic Traditions. This was
Okay.
back during the Dark Ages and the Renaissance.
Okay.
The big thing that happened was that they were not really big enough to be considered for any of the seats on the council, no matter how, because at the time they didn't know how they were dividing them up. Dividing
TF2
them up,
noise.
I know, right?
Sorry.
Sorry, dividing them up.
That's just gonna happen during the stream randomly one day. We're
I'm
just
gonna
not gonna address
I'm
it.
gonna turn my ringer off.
Yeah, no, you're
That
good.
is
It's just
a
one day that's
text
gonna happen, and neither of us are gonna address it. We're just gonna keep moving on, and everyone's gonna be like, "Ayo, am I playing TF2?"
Um,
Continue.
what was I?
Uh,
Wolficati. Um,
guess.
they were not really that big. They were a very small faction, and
Are they still?
smaller.
Oh,
The thing is that they had information about the Order of Reason. So what they did is they got all the big players, all the people who were guaranteed seats on the Council of Traditions, and they said, "Hey, listen, I have information that I know you guys want. If you give us the seat of matter, we will sell out all. We will immediately give you all the information we have in the Order of Reason." And like that, they bought their way into power.
I mean, hey, if it works, it works.
Well, I mean, after this, the first cabal,
Uh-oh.
the first cabal was a group of a representative of one of each of the seats on the of the Mystic Traditions.
Okay.
The Silficati representative, if I can pull up his fucking name,
The hot man. I mean, at least their symbol's cool. I like it a lot. I'm gonna be real. Out of all these symbols, I don't think anyone's being the fucking dream speakers. But you know, it's just me. I like that one a lot. This one is pretty nice, though. I will say that. I don't know. Like some of them feel genuinely like, ah, yeah, cool mystic symbol, and some of them are just like, man, these are just the Freemasons, or wow, this was just directly taken from like a native culture. It's cool, but like, damn.
Teonim. Hillel Teonim is a Solificati who was chosen to be their representative in the first cabal.
Okay.
He also betrayed the first cabal
What?
in an event that was known as the Great Betrayal.
Wow, I could not have seen that coming from that title.
I know, right? The point is that he had betrayed the Council of Nine Mystic Traditions and handed over the first cabal to the Order of Reason, with his justification being that he needed to make sure that the council understood the threat that the order posed. The
That
survivors
sounds stupid.
of the first cabal, with the exception of Teonim, were all horribly psychologically and mostly physically scarred. Um,
Oh,
the Solificati were immediately forcibly disbanded from the seat of matter.
I wonder
Half
why.
of them joined the Order of Hermes House Miscellanea as House Solificati. The other half defected to the Order of Reason. For his part, Hillel Teomin was sentenced to Gilgal and was then executed. For
I
those of you who
mean,
didn't catch it, Gilgal is the destruction of the thing that allows you to be magical, and then they executed him, meaning he can't reincarnate. They basically destroyed his soul and then killed his physical body.
so there's no coming back.
No. The Solificati have actually made a kind of a comeback.
Okay.
They are now a pretty large group in House X Miscellanea. In fact, in modern, I say modern, in modern nights as a part of the Order of Hermes, if I'm right, because I'm pretty sure they're a large house now, like a full house.
Yo, Full House, great TV show. Anyways,
Full House. Full House.
Yo, I love Uncle Joey.
Man, I love Full House MD.
Shut the fuck.
What did I do wrong? Don't you just love all these dogs in my house, MD?
God.
Never.
House MD, the one show where racism is consistently funny because it comes from an angry white man. Do
You are
not take that
black.
out of
This
context.
you are black. This vexes me.
This is literally. That's just the entire show.
Rap, tap,
Ah, son of a bitch! Not the rap tap tap bullshit.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. In it by the year 2001, the
that got me
houses
the
in order of
fucking jump.
Hermes were House Bonasagus, House Flambeau, House Fortuné, that one that wasn't an original, House Pastori, House Shea, also not an original, I don't believe, House Solificati, which they're doing good for themselves. Um, House
Fuck
Titleist and House
Leland.
Fortinus. So they've moved up from being nearly extinct again to
They're
being nearly extinct
uh,
because they're a mage.
the the mage. They didn't choose the mage life. The mage life fucked them.
Yeah. The Solificati, again, no longer sit on the seat of matter. They're no longer a major faction.
They were just important for a time.
They're important. They're still important to the Order of Hermes. Moving on to the Sons of Ether. Go back to
Yep.
the Freemason symbol.
Yo, it's the fucking Freemasons. Let's fucking go, Masonic Order.
The Electrodyne Engineers were originally founded during the Renaissance. I believe it was said. Um,
Fun fact:
I'm sorry. The
Aragon actually
Voltaean
owns a
Order.
Messianic sword.
What?
Aragon, you've met him a couple times. He owns a Messianic sword.
It's actually really cool.
Yeah, he owns a sword of the Freemasons, which is kind of fucking baller.
The Voltaean Order was originally founded in 1806, I believe.
Yeah.
1800, early 1800s, it says.
A little late.
Yeah, well, they were later reorganized and renamed as the Electrodyne Engineers
Okay.
as per order of the Technocratic Union.
Okay.
Their popular theory, their pet theory, was the existence of luminiferous ether. Ether is what they believe to be the cause of magical effects.
Oh, these are the guys who
It's
disagree with fucking whatchamacallit. I can think quintessence. These are the guys who disagree with quintessence.
sort of, they believe that quintessence is a byproduct of ether.
Okay.
They believe that quintessence is the fifth element.
Quintessence.
I'm very sorry, I can't pronounce the word quintessence.
No, you're fine. I was just trying to do a Daffy Duck impression. Quintessence. Anyways, yes, continue. I apologize.
Sorry, my throat was really dry, so I drank water.
Yeah, you're fine.
Stay hydrated.
Hydrate or dihydrate, kids.
But the Electrodyne Engineers were very popular were very were big fans of a book called the Book of Ether, or the Kitab al-Akir.
Why does that name sound familiar?
I don't know.
Anyways, continue, yeah.
It was believed to have been written by a Trojan mage.
Okay.
And well, yeah, the Electron Engineers were big fans of it.
I wonder why. Maybe it has something to do with the ether. Crazy.
Yeah, the Electron Engineers understood that this is what they were doing. They did this, and then in fact, Nikola Tesla was an Electrodyne engineer. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. This is not a joke. Oh, no, something I didn't cover, and I guess I probably should have. Pythagoras was a technomancer that used math.
Ooh.
In fact, he was so good at what he did. The Order of Hermes, the Euthanatos, and the Alibatan all plagiarized his work.
What the fuck?
This is not a joke.
That's okay. Fucking next you're gonna tell me Thomas Edison was just fucking with Tesla because he was a part of the same order.
Who? No. I don't know about Thomas Edison. That being said, the technocracy then asked known theoretical physicist Albert Einstein to work on his theory of relativity, which disproved ether and removed it from consensus. Consensus is another bit of vocab. Consensus is humanity's general understanding of how the world works. It is our combined
So the orc wall.
yeah, basically. It is our combined belief of how the world is supposed to work. Because general consensus is that magic doesn't exist, magic doesn't exist. Except for mages, who use their power anyways. We'll get
And
into how that fucks them later. But
okay. Oh, is this about the fucking universe police?
this is about paradox.
Okay, yeah.
But because of that, the Electron engineers were pissed.
Mhm.
They specifically went out of their way to make back channels and then with the Order of Hermes, and then use them to flee the Order of Reason and join the nine mystic traditions sitting on the seat of matter, renaming themselves the Sons of Ether.
Okay. And this resulted in
Oh, so these Sons of Ether generally tend to be style over substance.
oh.
They're the people who make like clockwork machines and steampunk tanks and literal ray guns. Like if you ever think of any of that like John Clark Mars shit or like 60s sci-fi pulp.
Oh, so this is
that-
like 60, like 30s through 60s sci-fi.
yeah, like there are people who make more modern sci-fi stuff in the Sons of Ether, but a lot of their aesthetic is ate up by,
Fuck.
by sci-fi ray guns and third arms and positronal pockets and
These are the
and
type of guys to make a cannon to
no,
shoot themselves to the moon.
don't put a bag of holding into a bag of holding.
No. Whoop.
That's their shtick, right?
Okay.
They make supercars and
No,
Stargates.
Sons of Ether, don't go into the weed cave. Ah, this will make me a great time to make my fucking ray gun lighter.
I know, right? Well, except for the ray gun lighter, literally just like, I'm going to shoot this man with my oxygen disintegrator, and you just kill him.
Uh,
Have you seen the Despicable Me that I'm gonna use the Chicago Ray?
yeah, I've seen that one, yeah.
If they literally they can make the Chicago Ray.
I'm gonna use my oxygen burning device to burn you. It's just a fucking flamethrower.
Yeah, these Sons of Ether are very important. At this point, we're gonna have to talk about World War II. Take a shot.
Uh, I apologize to everyone who's listening to this stream and recording for whatever the fuck my
Don't
fist
apologize.
just the
This is the fun
sound my
part.
fist just made. Oh.
This is where the fun begins.
Now this is pod racing.
This
I
podcast.
just
So
I
World
just
War
accidentally
II
spat
kicks
all over
off.
my computer screen.
Fuck. World War II kicks off.
Nothing bad ever happened during the Second World War.
Shut up, Shad. Don't get us canceled.
So,
And the technocracy and the mystic traditions both kind of split in two. Some of them fighting because of what they believe is right, some of them being nationalistically loyal to their countries of origin, a good chunk of technocracy believing that even with the eccentricities of the people at the head, that their one world order was something that they could achieve here because they believe in a totalitarian state.
this feels very Ventru.
No, these are technocracy.
No, I know. I'm saying it feels very Ventru ethics because from what I researched, a lot of the Ventru were very 50-50 on who was going to win the war.
Yeah, the difference is that there was magical support on both sides.
Yeah.
What
The
happened
Americas
was,
won because we were right.
what happened was how do I put this? Because of the sheer amount of death and destruction and mayhem going on in the Second World War, led for a faction known as the Nefandi to come out of their hidey holes. We'll talk about the Nefandi later.
Okay.
But the Nefandi for right now, actually, we'll talk about them now. I don't even know why I gave you their picture.
I'll say their picture should be this one.
It's the other triangle. No. It's much later. Don't worry. That one, yeah.
Okay, I can just have that up for now.
Yeah. The Nefandi are the demon worshipping mages. They were
Oh.
crawling out of their hidey holes. It was to the point where, by the time of the siege of Berlin, the Nefandi had a fuck ton of power. To the point where the technocracy, where the virtual adepts, as they would later be known, I don't know what their other name was, used the old back channels that the Sons of Ether had left open to contact them to negotiate a temporary truce in the Ascension War.
Okay.
The Ascension War was called on hold, and mages and technocrats from both sides of the World War II aisle, both Axis and Allies, agreed to stop fighting each other to stop the Nefandi attempting to summon a thing that should not be one of their dark masters at Berlin.
Oh, okay. So basically, just stop the guys from summoning a demon.
Correct. Well,
Or
not just
something
a
worse.
demon, an archdemon.
Ah ha ha! That's not good.
A literal hell on earth monster.
Like on the level of, okay, on the scale of, oh, that's bad, to, oh fuck, that's
into
bad.
a scale of humanity is lost endgame.
Oh yeah, okay. This is worse than the eldest existing. Understood.
Yeah, literally.
Well, shit.
So both of those sides fought together, and at the 11th hour, the Nefandi's ritual failed.
Oh.
Just before success, the Nefandi lost whatever had been boosting their power, and they were slaughtered in the hundreds.
Good.
The peace between the technocracy and the traditions lasted so long that they held their own Nuremberg trials.
What?
They held their own trials, specifically sentencing many Nefandi to Gilgal, and even like persecuting some diabolist collaborators in both the traditions and a significant number in the technocracy. Both sides willingly giving up their own for the sake of getting this shit over with.
So basically, both sides are like, yeah, we're not dealing with these demon worshippers. Fucking chop them.
Correct. Though it was primarily technocracy. The technocracy absorbed all of Germany's hypertech research, and the traditions just sort of went about their way.
Fair enough.
But
Shit, I
bring us
guess.
back to the Sons of Ether symbol, please.
Sons of Ether time, yeah.
That one, yeah. At this point, they're a lot of the reason why they left isn't just due to the technocracy disavowing their pet theory. The reason why the technocracy disavowed their pet theory is because the Electrodyne engineers, the Sons of Ether, were remnants of the belief that all of humanity should be empowered in the way that the most powerful are.
Okay.
They very much believed in this. They very much got to believe in the same ideal that the Craft Masons did.
And that, I assume, did not fly with the current technocracy at the time?
No, it did not fly with the new leaders of the technocracy. They wanted to hold all the power themselves and then decide who should get it.
Yeah, that would do it.
That is a Little Caesars ad. Oh my god.
Yup. Go
Man,
$5
that's
pizza.
making me hungry.
$5 pizza,
Anyways,
man.
moving on from the Sons of Ether to the people who use their back channels, the virtual adepts.
The triangle guys.
Yes.
Okay. This, I'm not gonna lie to you, when I first saw this symbol, when we pulled it up a little bit ago, I was like, why does this look like a fucking key? Why does this look like like a lock on a door I'd see in a sci-fi game?
Because they're primarily focused on the digital web.
Yeah, makes sense.
Fuck, what was his name? I think his last name was Turing.
Alan Turing?
Yeah, the guy who made the web.
The guy, yeah. The guy who also made the Turing test?
We don't. It doesn't matter. It's the guy who made the digital web.
Yes, the guy who also made the laws of robotics.
The point is that
Don't be-
Alan Turing was the guy who more or less founded the virtual adepts.
Okay. So they were like a very recent addition type thing.
1940s.
Makes sense, yeah.
The thing is that Alan Turing was a I have an important question. It's just gonna okay, good. It did not pull up his Wikipedia page. Oh,
That would have been hilarious.
would have been no. The thing is that Alan Turing was he was a guy.
Okay, as in like, that's just a dude, or
But no, in
that's
in real life.
well, yeah, no shit. So was Tesla.
Computer science, compute. Well, the difference is
So
that
was Tesla.
Tesla was allowed to exist. The New World Order, someone who we won't have to talk about yet. By the way, welcome to me talking about the New World Order and how they're actually a faction in this
Oh,
game.
the Illuminati exist. Okay.
Yeah, because Alan Turing was homosexual.
Huh?
I don't know if that's actually like actually what was he actual?
I'm sorry, what? Are you really looking up the question? Does Alan
Yes.
Turing is gay?
Well, no, I just looked at his Wikipedia page. Yes, Alan Turing was actually homosexual.
Oh,
This was not like a perce- this is not like them just saying he's gay.
so,
No,
so
he was
Alan
actually
Turing
gay.
is gay.
Yes, does is gay.
Huh?
Um,
I mean, shit. I guess the question of does Alan Turing is gay is
well,
yes.
that's not the thing. Um, the thing is that Alan Turing supposedly committed suicide. In real life, he committed suicide, unfortunately.
Oh,
In
yeah.
the game, it was claimed by the traditions that Alan Turing was assassinated by the New World Order
Yeah. Okay.
while he was busy traversing the web with his avatar.
So they fucking JFK'd him.
Literally, yes.
Oh, okay.
This horrifically pissed off the virtual adepts, and it doubled down on pissing them off when they when the New World Order decided to cover up the Alan Turing's digital web and shift it to someone else. Shift like give the actual like series of tubes to somebody else.
Uh-oh.
This caused them to flee right back through the back channels opened up by the Sons of Ether.
I'm assuming it doesn't go any better from here.
Um, yeah, they spend a lot of time on the internet, and I mean that like they spend a lot of time just sending their souls into the digital web.
Oh.
Because they view it as the new frontier, the only real place that's safe from the only real place that they can like not be super fucked over by the technocracy, which is
Oh.
ironic.
This is fine.
Um, they are currently. Remember how the Ali button used to sit on the seat of correspondence?
Yes, correct.
The virtual adepts are the people who took that place. They're now the portal mages.
Oh, okay, they're you know what? That makes sense considering they literally
Yeah.
go through computers.
They their big tool is quantum and trinary computers.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
They have quantum tech. They hit quantum tech in 2001. That's the thing.
So what? That's their whole shtick.
Yeah, their
That's
shtick
it.
is they like. Yeah, that's their shtick. Their internet.
All I can think of now is just you know that picture of like the kid at the computer, just like thumbs up, just like nodding his head.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's all I could think of. Just slap the virtual adepts like symbol on his face.
All right. Next we're gonna do the one of the shortest ones on here, the hollow ones.
I'm assuming the eye guys.
Yep. The hollow ones don't that symbol is only really a thing. Hollow ones are organized into cliques, and I do mean that literally.
Oh.
They don't sit on any sphere. They're not a part of the traditions. They're not a part of the technocracy.
So like a
They're
sub-faction of some form.
Yeah, they're mages that are have either been orphaned by or rejected by the traditions and refuse to join the technocracy. They're subcultures, ragtags, anti-disestablishmentarianists. Um,
So they're like the anarchs, kinda?
Kinda, yeah. Um, they usually find themselves in like niche subcultures, like goths.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because of that, they tend to be organized into cliques, in groups. Um,
They're the fucking. It's a high school. It's
yeah,
a high school. That's so. What? That's it. That's all.
literally yes. They don't have a whole lot because they're not a big group. They're literally everybody. They're literally mages who do not fit in or are not a part of the
So like
tradition.
they're basically just like the anarchs or the bone gnawers, but mages.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
We already
Okay.
talked about the Nefandi.
Yeah. Let's see. We already talked about the demon guys.
Let's talk about Marauders. I mentioned them. Marauders are I didn't really describe the Nefandi super well because they want to bring hell on earth, but like there's a better way to describe it, but like a more in-depth in lore way, but that's basically going to move on to the hand.
Yep. The Black Hand, or as we like to call them, that
Oh
one
shit.
sub-faction of the
Oh shit,
Sabbat.
we wrapped this up really quickly,
We
ironically.
did,
Wow.
honestly. Honestly, I guess. I mean, if you want, we could technically cover the technocracy, but that's up to you.
Yeah, we may want to.
Yeah, fair. Chuck me some symbols in the meantime, and I'll get them up on the PowerPoint.
Uh what do you mean? You fucking get the symbols. I need to read.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Go ahead.
By the way, we're looking for Iteration X, New World Order, Progenitors. Just look at the Mage page and look at the fucking Technocracy. Actually don't have anything to give you there.
Yeah, you're all good.
So the
Just talk.
Marauders.
Yeah, what's to do
The
with the
Marauders
Marauders?
are insane mages. How do I put this? They're insane. Their avatars are warped by their mental instability, and they almost never suffer from something
Okay.
called paradox,
So apparently the technocracy is also known as the Technocratic Union.
also known as the Order of Reason. Correct.
Yep. Alright, let me see if I get it. Analytical Reckoners, Electrodyne Engineers.
No, you're just looking for like the ones from the just Iteration X, New World Order, Progenitors, the Syndicate,
Ivory
and the Void
Tower,
Engineers.
Protogenitor. Yeah, I found them.
Right.
Found it.
So what paradox is when you cast a spell, it's either subtle or vulgar. Subtle spells are things like, there's change on my nightstand that I need to pay for this payphone. But I need to pay for this payphone. I feasibly grabbed it when I got up, and so you reach in your pocket and the change is in your pocket. Right? Like there was a time
Yeah.
when change was always in your pocket, so you could feasibly grab a handful of change from your pocket. You always have $5 on you. It makes sense. You always have a little bit of money on you. You're not flat broke.
I mean, that makes sense, yeah.
Whereas vulgar magic is like manifesting a stack of hundreds in your hand in front of someone.
Okay, yeah, I can see how that can be called vulgar magic.
Another way to describe it is, let's say you want to create a fireball, right? You could, of course, the vulgar way of doing it is legitimately just like snapping your fingers, pointing and say, "I cast fireball," and and a fireball gets thrown at your target, right?
Apparently the Ivory Tower doesn't have a symbol.
Yeah, we're not doing the Ivory Tower.
Okay, so okay.
Just Iteration X, the New World Order, the Progenitors, the Syndicate, the Void Engineers, and the Void Engineers.
Okay.
Um,
If I can find the New World Order, they're not listed on here.
fucking god here.
No, I'm looking for it. You can continue on though.
No,
We
I already have
don't
them
worry,
all
we're
pulled-
professionals. We know what we're doing.
I have them all pulled up, dude.
So good.
Just literally go to the White Wolf Wiki's like Mage's main page.
That's what I'm
There's-
at. I'm at the main page. Which is what's going on.
Anyways, Paradox is reality lashing back at a mage.
Oh, so
When
you
they
want
do what?
I say you want to cover the New World Order first, or like
No, we're covering Iteration X first.
Okay.
Iteration X. No, the Marauders.
Marauders.
Paradox. Paradox. I lost where I was. Oh, Paradox.
I say we're covering the
Is
progenitors.
Because of how consensus is, Paradox is the reality, static reality, as it's called, is lashing out against the mage who is attempting to change it to their will.
The Syndicate?
The Syndicate, yep.
Good.
Because of how Marauders are, their vulgar magic basically almost never paradoxes. It's not that they can't, it's that there's such a low chance of them doing it, it doesn't matter. Because they're insane, reality bends to their will for some reason so much easier.
Shit just kind of happens with them. And it goes in their favor.
Yeah.
Alright.
They're insane. Let's move on to the Iteration X.
I'll say I got 6 symbols on here, so I'm assuming that's all I'm gonna need.
You should only need 5.
Unless I grabbed an extra. Electrodyne
Iteration X.
Engineers, Iteration X.
No, you do not need Electrodyne Engineers.
Okay, that's the one I got. That's the extra.
Alright, please move on to Iteration X, sir.
I'm trying. I think I need to update the slideshow real quick because it's taking a second. Yeah, the slideshow just needed updated, that's all.
So, who here heard about those Pokemon leaks?
Let's not talk about those. That scares me.
Damn, ain't no party like a Typhlosion party.
Shut the hell. There was some stuff with Lapras and stuff too.
Well, yeah, but like it's not as funny, right? Like there's also ain't no party like a slacking party, but
Also, yep, there we are, Generation X.
Iteration X. Iteration X. Iteration X are the end state of the original artificers. They're you know what an artificer is, like people who use magic.
I played one in D&D, yes. They make machines
people
and stuff.
Who use magic to make great machines.
Yeah. I'm assuming these guys are the guys who make laser guns.
They do. They can. They notably were very much content making their mythic machines, their powerful laser guns, and everything until they discovered autothonia. Oh no, I'm sorry, the computer. I thought it was called autothonia.
Oh.
Autothonia, yeah. Autothonia is a thing in the Umbra, in the deep void, which houses a thing called the computer.
I wonder what that is.
It's, as far as they can tell, a great technological device that a significant portion of the artificers bound themselves to.
Okay.
I'm sorry, no, that's wrong. They did find autothonia, but the computer was something they were working on that they made sentient. I don't know why I was saying that. I had it written right here.
Oh.
The reason why they're called Iteration X is because the 10th iteration of that program became sentient. And then it became their leader.
Motherfucker, is this President Eden?
Basically.
Okay.
The thing is they're very focused on making humanity better. Like, as an example, Right. They believe every human has a value, and they've calculated it down to the very last numeral.
Oh. Oh gods. Okay.
Um, they have an entire thing called a hit mark. Hit marks are mechanically augmented humans, cyborg assassins that they build specifically to well, to kill things.
Mm-hmm. I mean, shit. Fair enough, I guess.
Something no is not all of their upper echelon are proxies of the computer, but most of them are at this point. They very much the majority of Iteration X at this point sees every human as a number with a specific amount of value, and this includes mages. They're
So
very efficient, very deadly, very inhuman.
I guess my question. So they do like cybernetic enhancements and stuff like that. I'm guessing
Yeah, a
pretty
lot of what
heavily.
they're working. Yeah, a lot of what they're working for is they're trying to make cybernetics more appealing and more reasonable to the masses, so they can believe that they exist at this time.
Fair enough. Okay. So like, is it like to the point of like being almost androids, or is it like
Yes,
yes?
yes,
Oh.
yeah. No, they're more like the Institute.
Oh. Okay. Oh.
Move
Oh.
on to
Yeah,
New
that's
World,
concerning.
please. I don't have much else to say about Iteration X other than that they're heartless bastards.
I mean, shit. Fair enough. That feels like most of the technocracy, to my understanding.
New World Order now, please.
Correct
Thank
symbol.
you. Yep, that's the right symbol. Um, the New World Order is believed to have formed out of what was left in technocracy of the Cabal of Pure Thought. We covered them a little bit. Um,
Yes.
they first started showing up roughly in the 1800s. So they didn't really call themselves that until the late 19th century.
Okay. And
They're
then
they're an organization that primarily focuses on media outreach. They influence the masses.
so they own the
They
fucking media.
literally they also go out of their way to find new recruits for all of the other conventions and make sure that they're sleeper agents for the New World Order, so they'll report on all the other conventions.
Huh.
Their lowest rank is, I believe, called the Men in Black. In fact,
Oh.
that's their second lowest rank.
Well, shit. I.
The Men in Black are field agents predominantly. They go in, they kick down doors, they show badges, they're embedded in every agency known to man. And a
They're
lot of them
literally the
are,
Men in Black.
yes. Then these are both sleepers and awakened. Um, they're both normal mortal people and people with magical powers. A step above them are the Men in Gray. Men in Gray are veteran um Men in Black.
Oh.
Still field agents, but more experienced. So you know about the Men in Black and the Men in Gray. The Men in Black are not just from the general populace, they're also clones. They will clone Men in Black.
Oh.
The clones can become awakened, even if they might just remain sleepers though, even if the person who they were cloned from is awakened. Um,
Oh.
which is fun. The step above them are the Men in White. The Men in White are guys in chairs. They direct operations.
Fair enough. Yeah. Makes sense.
There's not else to talk about them. They're very cool. They're actually very cool. Um, I could talk about the Ivory Tower, which is one of their methodologies, or Q division, but that's not really what we're here for. Um,
Okay. And that's all the deal with that's just the New World Order.
Yeah, they're the new world order. They are the media taking over the world.
I mean, shit, fair enough. All right, next up,
Next up, the progenitors.
goofy ass symbol.
The
Listen,
progenitors were originally
pretty sure this is the progenitor symbol.
the
This is the progenitor symbol, right? I'm just
the Cosian Circle. Later, the Hippocratic Circle. They were healers. They were people who wanted to do more practical medicine, one that could be spread among people. And then they decided to get rid of folk healers.
Oh.
And then they were told they weren't allowed to relate themselves to any ancient deities, so they became the Hippocratic Circle. And then they got a little fucky.
What do you mean they got a little fucky?
They believed that being the Hippocratic Circle tied them a bit too much to the old Hermetic traditions. And so did the rest of the technocracy that. So they overhauled themselves twice and became the progenitors. The progenitors deal with pharmaceuticals. They deal with medicine. They create horrible abominations that only survive maybe weeks at best due to the sheer amount of paradox they're inflicting upon themselves just by existing.
So pure fucking evil.
It's like creating shoggoths in a lab and then throwing them at people.
Yeah, pure evil. Okay, cool.
They're also very important in helping the iterators of Iteration X create hit marks.
Oh. Oh, that's not fun at all. That's terrible. Okay. Yeah, so far the technocrats are pretty much what I expected them to be. Right, is that all with these with the progenitors or
I mean, yes and no. There's one last thing we should probably mention. They're basically the technocracy seat of life, which means they're the people, because of what they are, who have a
Oh.
monopoly on the life extending medicines that keep all of the leaders of the technocracy in being young. Meaning that if the progenitors left, the rest of the technocracy would be scrambling to try and not die.
I
It's actually believed by some members of the technocracy that they're slowly waiting to just, kill off all the other members of the technocracy so they're the only ones in power. But, that's only a theory, a game theory.
it's fine, probably.
We'll move on to the Syndicate now.
Okay. Money.
Here comes the money. Dollar, dollar, baby. The Syndicate were originally the High Guild. They're financiers, bankers, money men. How do I put this? All of the rest of the technocracy kind of hates them because they see them as wasting their enlightenment, wasting their gifts. They
Oh.
don't care. They're making money, baby.
So they're basically the bankroll.
They are. They fund every other member of the technocracy. That's how much money they make. They're called the Convention of Cash.
That's fucking hilarious and I love that.
They have a lot of companies that they operate with, such as Mercury Logistics,
Oh.
the Patent Assurance Executive Corporation, and Pentex.
Ah yes, our good friends Pentex. The ones who create ungodly abominations in their basements.
Yeah, the lowest member of of one of the syndicate is called a debtor. These are normally people who actually owe debts to a syndicate company.
Oh.
Sleepers and awakened alike. If they can balance their budget well enough, they can actually be hired by the syndicate to be accountants, I believe they're called. I don't actually have it listed, but it doesn't
Hmm.
matter. The accountants,
I would assume so.
or known internally as magic men.
That's a
Can't
little
tell them.
funny. That's a
It's
little
really
funny.
on the nose. The
Yeah.
ones above them, the account organizers, whatever they're called, the financial consultants, are called wizards internally.
Man, the rest of
Because
technocracy must really not like them, huh?
they don't. They fucking hate them. Unfortunately, these are the guys who own their budget.
These are the guys that own everything.
Um, in fact, one of their methodologies, known as R&D, which all of the other technocratic conventions have their own purposely inside research and development department. Their entire special R&D department is entirely outsourced to Pentax,
Oh.
meaning that they're actively flooding the technocracy with Bane-infused devices and materials.
Well, shit.
But here comes the money, money, money.
Oh, God. So that's basically their whole shtick. They're just the bankroll.
Yeah,
I mean, shit, fair enough, honestly. Like, if they
like
bring
it's
in the money,
all
they
they
bring in the
want
money.
to be, right? Like money is they believe is money is where the power is. And it's not just money, right? Like, well, in the modern day, they're the convention of cash. Remember, there used to be traders, right? They were entirely like they're not devoted to cash as cash, they're devoted to wealth as a concept. The idea of trade as a concept. Not money itself, but the ability
The
to
idea of
pass.
merchandising and commerce.
Yeah, the idea of
Or
selling
mercantilism.
of giving and receiving simultaneously, not just giving for the sake of giving, but a transactional economies.
Well,
Now let's move on to the last convention of the technocracy and wrap this up at under
yeah,
3 hours.
hey, we're doing pretty good.
The Void
Uh,
Engineers.
yeah, I saw
And
this
just
symbol and I was like, yo, what the fuck?
please imagine the fucking Helldivers 2 theme here and like the Helldivers 2 fucking like advertisement video. Do 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 do
You should become a
do.
hell diver. Yeah.
The Void Engineers are my favorite of the technocracy. No bias whatsoever. They were originally their origins are from exploration guilds from Rome and Greece and the like, right?
Mm-hmm.
They originally found new land masses, explored the seas, and then they became the Void Engineers and they explored space. That's a huge oversimplification, and I really hate to do that to them. Um,
I
because they
hmm.
weren't just like the Void Seekers who were the old Roman guilds all sort of under one thing. Um, they were also the Celestial Masters, the Chinese mages who looked up to the stars.
Oh,
In the 1800s, they were smashed together to create the Void Engineers.
okay.
In the modern day, while they've had to pull back from it, they are actively manning deep space outposts with their one of their methodologies called the Marines, in
So these are the fucking Saturn fuckers.
who actively fight the in space. They have an entire core, as they're called, dedicated to deep space exploration, to solar exploration, to exploring other dimensions and securing magical nodes in them for the technocracy.
Oh, well
They
shit.
go through their budget the second they get it. It has been, by one of their high ranking members, though, stated but not suppressed. Oh, by something I forgot to mention, the Void Engineers actually have a very important onboarding process where everyone goes through mandatory training that both deprograms them from the New World Order programming and gives them new important training for the Void Engineers.
Oh boy.
So the stuff for So yeah, but the Void Engineers, one of their high-ranking members had suggested, and it wasn't suppressed fast enough, that if their budget gets cut again, because it has been cut several times in history, if their budget keeps getting cut, they might just find funding elsewhere. And
Okay.
the issue is people don't know what that means. The New World Order is pretty sure that they can't get funding elsewhere. That's just a ruse. It's just something said offhand, right? Because the traditions can't fund them. They don't have the capital to. So they're not worried about them joining the enemy, and they know that if the Void Engineers separate entirely from the technocracy, that they won't be able to survive being assaulted by both the technocracy and the traditions.
I guess.
But because of their massive space exploration, the thought occurs: who else would be giving them funding? Is there a chance that the Void Engineers just abandon Earth?
I mean, could they? Maybe. Probably.
That's just a theory. No one really knows.
Uh-huh.
In more modern times, though, they've had to abandon a lot of their their extrasolar outposts, just due to both lack of funding, lack of manpower, and just how dangerous it's getting outside of the solar system.
I can only imagine I mean, to be fair, in the world of darkness, Earth is already pretty dangerous. Gods know what is outside of our solar system.
Something I need you to know is that the Marines are not just mages. They're normal mortal men who they're throwing against aliens. These motherfuckers are cheekily called the Space Marines, and they will go up and punch Shoggoths because they looked at them funny.
Honestly,
These are not
these are like Halo Spartans, basically.
these are look, the mages are like Halo Spartans. The other Marines are like Halo 3 Marines. They will not stop fighting until you
ODSTs.
fucking kill them. They will not stop fighting until you kill them.
Okay, damn.
Um,
Gods, alright, yeah.
we're gonna talk about the Avatar Storm now.
I don't have a symbol
but
or an image for that, so we're just
there
gonna.
isn't a symbol. Just go back to the Mage the Ascension logo symbol.
We'll.
The Avatar Storm is a negative effect that happened in the Umbra. There we go.
Okay.
Both Horizon and Central Command are the capitals of the technocracy and the traditions.
Are they both
Horizon for the
in the
tradition-
Umbra?
Yes, they are. So is
Okay.
Autocathia, or whatever I called it. The computer is also in the Umbra.
Yeah, okay.
Or was it? Right. But Central Command is also in the Umbra. They both base their so that they don't have to live in the mortal world because, funny fireball.
Fireball. Yeah, having your base bombed constantly by the other side, not great.
Yeah. So they're both in their own pocket dimensions, the Umbra. The Avatar Storm happened, and people aren't exactly sure why, but in 1999, the Avatar Storm occurred, which all but locked off the Umbral realms from mages and technocrats, leaving the
Oh.
technocrats without central governance, and the mages on Earth without their excessively old masters looking over their shoulder.
I'm assuming that when everyone looked at this, looked at each other, looked back, and went, well, time for me to rule. And it's been an all-out fight since then.
Yes and no. The Ascension War is still going on as we speak.
Oh.
But the big thing. Oh, you're a cat now.
Yeah, I'm a
the
cat
big
now.
thing.
I'll stay cat for now. Keep going. I'm gonna fucking stab you. Continue.
Bolt sent me a cat picture.
Lovely.
The big thing is
That was well timed.
now both sides do not have a central governing force, right? They're both just their earthbound assets, with the exception of the
Yeah.
Void Engineers and the Sons of Ether, who both have spacebound assets.
Well, fuck it. I don't care. Moving on.
This is what was I going to say here? I don't have this part written down. Avatar Storm.
So what exactly was the Avatar Storm, to be exact? Like, yeah, I'm assuming it was just some sort of massive influx of shit.
It's a massive whirl of spirits that has more or less cut off a significant portion of the Umbra from the
Mages.
it's made it near impossible to travel to Horizon, as well as Central Command.
That's fucking yeah. Smile all you want, Wyvern.
Don't worry, Shad. You'll be able to describe it better when you're talking about Wraith.
Ah, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, there's gonna be a
Um,
lot for that.
the point is there's a lot of spirits just sort of spilling out into the Umbra, and no one's quite sure why. But it's given a lot of the Earthbound mages the freedom to practice how they want.
Yeah, because you don't have the circles breathing down your back now.
Yeah. A lot of the reason why the Cabal of Pure Thought, a faction we didn't really talk about and we're not going to talk about, was like came to such prominence in the New World Order as it was, and they wiped out so many mages in the early parts of the war is because especially like pagan mages, it was very solitary practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you practice magic alone or with one apprentice or with just your family, and that was it. You didn't have a grand group of mages, and it kept them safe from your angry peasant mobs.
Makes
But it
sense.
didn't
Yeah.
keep them safe from the Inquisition, who tore through them like a storm as an organized group.
Yeah, the Inquisition in general was not great. No, I'll say, are they faring any better with the Second Inquisition, or
So the issue is that old World of Darkness didn't have the Second Inquisition.
does it not?
No,
Oh,
no.
because I
Keep in
remember.
mind, the old World of Darkness ended in 2004.
Ah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. The Second Inquisition started in what? 010, 09?
Yeah, yeah. The world ended in 2004, my guy. Like there was no Second Inquisition.
Fair. I was gonna say because New World Darkness continues up from there. Because I think the most recent time is 2018.
Yeah. Do you have any questions so far?
Not the very none at the very second. Besides, okay, gods, that was fucking complicated,
Well,
but
there's
also
not much
not very
left.
complicated at the same time. But we also
I
didn't go
know,
into
right?
super detail.
There's not a lot left to add on them, right? Unless we want to talk about like the whole history of mages. I don't have that presentation planned out.
I don't think
Um,
we'd have time for that in general.
I mean, like it's 45 minutes if I really rush. If I really like give you just the cliff notes,
I
but like
mean,
we've already covered a lot of it, honestly.
yeah, we've already covered quite a bit.
The Declaration of the White Tower, the formation of Horizon, all that jazz. We covered
Hey,
basically all of it.
mage, technocrats, all that type of stuff. I was gonna say,
Um,
is there any just anything other like super duper major important thing that needs to be covered, or because we have
not
their
for
like
now.
we have their foundation, we'd cover the factions, we covered why they can't talk with their central command because the Avatar Storm. I mean,
Anything you could think of? Because like I don't have anything else written down. I might be able to pull something out of
um,
my ass.
when it
But
comes to
like,
mages, like I said, I like okay, fuck it, fourth wall break, woo. I know quite a bit about the World Darkness. I know nothing about fucking Mage though. That's like the one source I know nothing about.
well, do you
So
have any questions that I haven't like efficiently answered?
I mean, not to my knowledge. Majority of the ones
I,
that I have
I
asked you,
I
you've
could
answered
talk a
pretty
little
well.
bit about how they interact with other World of Darkness things.
You know what? Yes, actually, that is a interesting thought. How do they deal with vampires, werewolves, wraiths,
So in
fucking
terms of
changelings?
wraiths, they don't really interact with wraiths a lot because they don't like to.
I
It's
mean, I
kind of a
wonder why.
matter of like they can banish ghosts if they're spirit mages, but like it's not super. Mages attract the weird because they are weird. Um,
Fair. Hey, look, it's the actual weird. Yeah, you.
but yeah.
Ah,
And in terms of the Fae, they also really hate interacting with them most of the time because Fae.
I mean, yeah, I don't fucking blame. Well, there's a difference between the Fae and changelings, I guess, but yeah,
Yeah.
there's a difference.
With werewolves and vampires is actually really interesting. It depends on the vampire, right? Because in Old World of Darkness, occasionally a prince might actually hire a mage to work in their court.
Oh, that's a
And I
lot
bet
more
you're saying
inclusive than
that's
I was expecting.
well, it's not for the reason. It's because if a Ventru has a pet attack mage, that is a fucking nuke on standby.
That is true. Yeah, fair.
Something to remember: a mage at level 3 can theoretically solo an entire coterie of vampires.
That
No
is fair.
trouble.
Yeah.
A max level coterie of vampires will crumble and fail against a level 3 mage, and it's insane.
Yeah, fuck, true. Okay, fair. So, is there
Remember,
any like, do they care what side it's from, or do they just hire a mage?
It's usually tradition because the technocracy isn't supposed to associate with supernatural creatures.
Right, because the technocracy hates anything supernatural, because it's like,
Yeah.
nah, it's science. What are you
Yep.
talking about?
Now, keep in mind, this puts a major target on the mage's back from the local vampire community.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that, because I imagine the Anarchs and Sabat would not be happy about that.
Well,
I,
yeah, I mean, if your enemy just had a had a fireball on standby, that's kind of bad for you to try and anything against them.
I was about to say, so Tremere, the good old traitor to the Order of Hermes and what that.
But keep in mind, the only people who have a grudge against the Tremere are the Order of Hermes. If they were to say hire a Dream Speaker, then there'd be no bad blood.
Okay, fair enough. I was gonna say, is there like any other interactions that mages really have with vampires? Like, does Sabat like have
Like
any
a
weird
lot of
things? Or
mages hate vampires. A lot of mages just hate vampires. There's no bottom text. They're undead. They're undead abominations.
I mean, fair enough. That's kind of the consensus with everybody, though.
Yeah. It really depends because a lot of the time mages and vampires try to not step on each other's feet because it usually ends bad for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Because mages tend to do this because pissing off a mage tends to do this thing where if you don't kill them in the first go, they follow you home and burn your house down.
Burning your house down, I think, might be underselling it.
Because you're a vampire. No, because you're a vampire. They'll burn your house down purposefully because they know it will kill you.
I was saying it was underselling it because they probably just blow you up, then blow your house up, and then blow the block up.
They could, but that's usually too vulgar. Starting an electrical fire in your house though is perfectly subtle.
Fair enough. How do they deal
Rap, tap, tap.
Werewolves,
Fuck you.
it's what's rap tap tap.
It's the fucking man, the wall from Warframe. And he's just like right in your ear going rap tap tap. Oh, I fucking hate that one. I need to make that thing higher points. Anyway, yeah, so werewolves and mages?
What you mean this?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Rap, tap, tap.
I hate you so much. It's mostly supposed to be used for horror games, but yeah, that would do it too.
Anyways, God, I love interacting with the streamer. Oh,
Why are you like this?
where was I? Right. Werewolf. So it's a bit 50-50, right? Like mages generally don't like to interact with werewolves because werewolves are
Scary.
there's that. There's also the fact that werewolves are a bit temperamental and mages don't know which way they'll fly. Because mages and
True.
werewolves very much are more than willing to work, will very much work together if the need be. Werewolves are bad, wormbanes are bad. They will work together to fight those things, but werewolves don't usually like to don't like to play nice.
They don't play nice with anything that isn't another werewolf, and even that's stretching it.
Yeah. Also, mages, apprentice mages have a tendency to accidentally wander into cairns from time to time
Oh no.
because cairns are places with a lot of quintessence.
Stop doing that. That's dumb.
Yeah, it's why mages don't know their cairns. It's why like older mages usually recommend like, hey, listen, don't if you're in a place and you sense there's a lot of quintessence there, leave. That usually means there's usually a place where werewolves congregate.
That's normally a no-no place, and there's a lot of the no-nos there. Please leave.
Something really neat. Kinfolk, the werewolf humans.
Yeah, the ones that are related to
Oh,
werewolves normally.
yeah, kinfolk are directly related to werewolves. They're
Yeah,
werewolf family who are not werewolves.
they are not
They
werewolves, but they have the abilities of werewolves in some small degree.
no.
No, in my research, they have some form of small degree with werewolfism. Like they have some
Uh
form of increased strength normally or senses.
oh, they might. The big thing is they don't have the delirium, which is the big
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, that's the big thing. Normally,
Something
it's like
neat is
a
that
hump werewolf.
kinfolk are not do not have the twin soul of werewolves, which is important.
Correct.
Which means their avatar can awaken.
Yeah, you can. Oh shit! Right, I remember us
Kinfolk,
talking about this.
kinfolk are perfectly capable of becoming mages. Meaning there is a not zero chance that werewolves can have. It's very low because mages are very rare, but
Yeah.
werewolves can have magic support.
Well, their cousins can be chucking a fireball.
Their brother can be chucking a fireball.
Shit, I guess.
The issue is that Pentex usually hires sleeper mercenaries, which means they can't just use vulgar magic.
Hmm. Yeah, I
That
can see how that could
said,
be an issue.
if they're just fighting a Fomori, they can literally just say fireball, 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 and just win the fight there, right?
Yeah, but if you're going up against someone who's a
I'm
sleeper,
literally
not really
going
gonna
to
work too
set its
well.
brain on fire.
I am going to make you explode. My fucking pancake.
Sets makes pancakes explode with mind.
My fucking pancakes.
Yeah, but
My Fomori pancakes.
that's honestly the gist of Mage.
Yeah.
They're fighting a war that they can't explain to anyone else because it won't make sense, right?
Oh, you know what? That's actually also a question since we were going over all of them, I guess. Do they interact with mummies much at all, or nah?
No,
Yeah, go figure.
I don't know. There's not mentioned. Oh, one thing I do want to note though is that the technocracy is the group trying to block more moon landings.
what?
So what happened is that the moon landing did two things. One, it brought whimsy back into the world. It brought that sense of adventure that the Fae
Woo.
love. And two, it made people believe that anything is possible, right? The televised moon landing made people believe that anything is possible, which
Yeah.
meant that magic was by a degree more plausible, which meant that more mages awakened, which caused the technocracy problems,
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
which is why the technocracy hates the moon landing. Bottom text.
That's a little fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually incredibly funny. No, that is hilarious. Man, who knew? They didn't fake the moon landing. They're trying to stop more from happening.
Yeah, they didn't fake the moon landing. They landed on the moon. Bottom text.
That they land on the moon and a bunch of guys immediately awakened as mages.
Well, no, it's not an immediate thing, right?
Well, no, I'm just making the joke. Yeah.
Usually mages awaken under stress, much like how werewolves usually have their first change under stress.
Yeah, normally a traumatic event or
That being
puberty.
said, that being said, mage awakenings can be slow, and mage awakenings can just sort of happen randomly. But a lot of them happen in stressful situations.
Fair enough.
Do you have any other questions? Anything about any of the conventions or the traditions or?
No. You know what? I have a question game wise.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll say I know you have played. I have you played a game of Mage?
Fuck no, dude. Oh my
Okay.
god. Listen, I can't find anybody. I wouldn't be able to find anybody to run it for me. It's like I'd have to run it, and that sounds like a personal hell.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I would
I was just
love to
wondering.
be able to do it. It sounds like a personal hell.
Honestly, I'm assuming it's the same pip system, just like everything else is when in the World
It's
Darkness.
the thing is it's a pip system, right? Yeah. But it runs off D6s as opposed to D10s.
Oh. Oh no. I can see where the problem comes in.
Well, no, all of the old World of Darkness games ran off D6s.
Hmm. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel about that. That feels like such a large margin for error, but also a large margin for success.
It's a 50-50 like the new World of Darkness stuff, dude. What do you want from me?
Yeah, I know it's a 50-50, and honestly, yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see. I kind of do want to play a game of Mage, but I know nobody in my area would probably want to play that. But we'll see. Just for the jokes and giggles. But I don't have any more questions unless you have anything more to give me.
Oh, so I don't if anybody in chat can empathize with this, who just played a Fantasy Flight game, and I mean like a Fantasy Flight RPG. If the answer is
Uh,
only me, I'll go ahead and explain. So Fantasy Flight makes wonderful games. They're known for making Dark Heresy, Only War, Dark Heresy Second Edition, Black Crusade,
I do want to
the
play Dark Heresy.
the Rogue Trader role playing game. These are amazing role
Also,
playing games that I know a lot of the rules of like the back of my hand. These games are laid out fucking horribly. They're atrocious. Dear Lord, it is
oh,
so stupid hard to navigate to things you want to navigate to. Some of them are better than others. Only War is decently laid out for a Fantasy Flight game, and Dark Heresy Second Edition is not the worst.
I'll say, weren't
But
you playing
like
a
that's
Dark
just
Heresy second edition game? Or are you still playing it?
I was running one, and now I'm
Hmm.
playing a Black Crusade game. But that's the point. Um,
Yeah.
None of the books are very well laid out. They're worse. Like one of the Shadowrun games has its grenades purposefully and wonderfully and intelligently and intuitively tucked into the vehicle section.
What?
Not in the weapon section, no, the vehicle section. Where do they belong? With vehicles, grenades. Yep.
That totally makes
Shadowrun.
sense. 100%. Uh-huh.
A lot of the
I
issue
what?
a lot of the issue with Dark Heresy and its associated games are that it mentions something once,
What
and
the
then it
fuck?
references it and then doesn't tell you where to find it.
I have so many questions, but they're not gonna be answered today.
It's unironically a wonderfully made, a well-crafted investigation game, chocked to the brim with combat mechanics that I love.
Fair enough. I kind of want to like I mean I've talked about this before. I do want to play more tabletop games. It's just most of the ones that I get involved with always either A end up falling apart or B I just nobody wants to play them.
I feel that.
Which like
But if you
because okay like recently a few like I'll say Phantasm and Aragon have been recently playing Call of Cthulhu and they're really enjoying it. So we might play Call of Cthulhu. I fucking hope. Like that'd be great. They want what they want to do is they want to reskin the vampires lore onto the Cthulhu system, and I'd be fine. I'm fine with that. I don't really
Oh,
care.
something we can actually talk about here. Did you know that during that there's a magazine that used to be the White Wolf magazine,
Mm-hmm.
actually had two editions of it, had supplements to bring World of Darkness into Cyberpunk 2020.
Oh,
Yeah, they're old editions, and it's for old, it's Cyberpunk 2020, right? But it's meant to bring use the vampire system and convert it so that it works in the universe of Cyberpunk, as well as werewolf and mage and whatnot.
fair.
It was a very cool addition. Also, fun fact, speaking of Call of Cthulhu, do you know the Call of Cthulhu subgame Delta Green?
I do not know.
Delta Green is long and short of it is you're playing suit government agents of a shadow group known as Delta Green. I get into
Crazy.
the I get into the heavy lore of Delta Green here, but we're only 3 hours in. And this is super off topic. Um,
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, we can go off topic a little bit.
um,
We've been at this for
Delta
long enough.
Green Delta Green was originally mentioned in Cyberpunk 2020, but it's now its own Call of Cthulhu game, Call of
Oh, that's cool.
Cthulhu universe game.
I like that a lot, actually. Oh,
Bless you.
thank you. I was about to say, thankfully that was muted on stream because I hit the button quick enough. Saved by my hotkeys.
Nah, dude, you gotta let people hear that T sip.
God, Jesus. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Let's see. Well, I mean, unless you got anything else, I think that's a
No,
wrap for
that,
today.
that 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 covers the basics. We're an hour early at a time, but that means I can get dinner.
Honestly, I think. Oh man, I'm not. Oh man, we're gonna sit here. We're gonna complain about how we wrapped up like an hour early.
I'm gonna drink the wax from my candle.
Oh my god! Do not drink the wax from your candle.
It's nice and boiling hot.
Please do not do that. That would be a terrible decision.
It would be, yeah.
Like, Riv, I love you, brother, but don't do that. That might hurt.
I'm not. It will hurt. I'm not gonna do it.
That's a good idea. Anyways, all my loyalists, let me in the chat room. I'll entertain everybody. Well, we're done. I'm wrapping up now. Anyways, my loyalists. So we have wrapped up for today, and hopefully, I might be streaming a little bit more this week. I'll probably be playing. I'm thinking about playing some more Vampire because I really need to pick that up from where I was playing it last, which was kind of my bad. And we'll see how it goes because I do like playing Vampire. Very fun. But as it stands, that will be today's episode. Anything else will be, we'll figure it out. I'll post it on Blue Sky. I might post it on Twitter as well. Blue Sky is my now main media source, which there are issues with Blue Sky. There are issues with Twitter. I'm just over there because
I don't understand, right? Why do they call it Blue Sky, right? Twitter was obviously called Twitter, right? Because little birdie told me, right? But Blue Sky just doesn't mean anything. They could have called it Grapevine, right? And you heard it off the grapevine.
that honestly would have been pretty nice. I think the reason why they call it Blue Sky is because its little icon is really a blue butterfly, and there's a
Yeah, but they
butterfly
didn't
called
have
a
to make
sky.
its icon a blue butterfly, right? They
And they
could have made
didn't.
it a grape bushel and called it grapevine.
Honestly, that look, you and Echo can make that Twitter ripoff you were thinking of and call it that.
Well, listen, it was a joke, all right? But I think it's a good idea.
I mean, hell, you can do it. No one's gonna stop you.
What do you mean? It's not going to get any people on it. Why would I bother?
Oh my lord. Anyways, yeah, but no, we're wrapping up. Everything's done. If you, all information will be on Blue Sky and or Twitter. It may also be in my Discord. Don't forget to join that. It's in the About Me section. I have to pause my malware development to make that. Okay, you know what? We're pushing you to a side. You need to stop touching things. But anyway, my loyalist, I will see you next time, and I hope you all enjoy. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.